Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E Apex Legends.
Series E Apex Legends starts right now. That was a lot of pretty faces subsequently, and then, of course, followed by some Apex Legends. So you know, this is Series E, and we are heading into day number 2 of the first season. Jamerson here, joined once again by Tom T-Squared Taylor. And Tom, we had 8 fantastic games last night, but tonight it's a completely different story.
Yeah, super close race, and it's just going to get more and more intense as we get approaching towards Season 7. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I highly recommend it. Insanely badass. I can't wait to play.
Dude, the Tridents, Olympus, Horizon, Season 7 is going to be nuts, and I want to hop into that map as like in you know, in comp settings as quickly as possible, and I'm really excited. They said it was going to be bigger than World's Edge, and that's absolutely nuts because people were already like, World's Edge is so large. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at all of our Series E teams who will be competing against 11 pro Apex Legends squads. And, you know, after seeing what our squads had for us last night, I'm really excited to see how they shape up, how they match up against the pro squads.
Yeah, we had a lot of highlights in there, and it was a lot of impressive plays from a lot of different teams. But when it was all said and done, 2 points away from getting first, and it was 2 brains, 1 controller, an insanely skilled team that ended up taking first. So I know that these teams are going to be hungry today. The competition is going to be even more intense, and we're on board already. 3 squads down. You can see Team Zara Tricky. That's going to be Team Razor getting a couple kills, but we're on board with Team Pop-Tarts, Farmer Lucas, Fat Fruit Ninja, and there it is, Razor getting the res over here as they just got finished winning a fight against NRG.
I figured this was the case. NRG do drop over at Lava Fissure. They go for a lot of these timing attacks, but also Skyhook is highly contested this time around. So you have Team Razor, Team CLG, and I believe Rogue also drop over at Skyhook. And you have to imagine when Skyhook is that contested, someone has to go for trials, and it looks like it was Team Razor, and NRG just was not able to win out that fight. I mean, 2 golds along with the purple, that's a pretty nice fight to start off with.
This is a ridiculous setup right now. You look at Zara Tricky, he has a God combo. He's rocking the massive purple bolt. He has the Volt, I'm pretty sure that has the 2x with a purple mag on top of it. Gold armor, tons of cells, tons of syringes, resources up the wazoo over here. That's a great way to start this game for Team Razor.
Yeah, like we were saying, Skyhook, contested between 3 teams total. NRG just brings all the loot from Lava Fissure up to them, and so we'll see if they try to make this rotation once again. But you have to imagine they don't go for that timing push just because, well, you've already lost the first game. We still have 7 more to go. We're now down to 16 squads, and what's going on tonight? We had to have a quick intro. Sorry for the late start, guys, but we have our 9 Series E squads facing off against 11 pro North American and EU/CIS teams. We're on board with Team Pop-Tarts, who are gaining control over the northern side of Sorting Factory here, trying to control that choke. As you can see, we do have the ring information. It's going on over towards Geyser and Lava City.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a Lava City ending, or you see pings going on there, but I feel like it's going to end at one of those buildings over towards the Lava City side, which means that triple-story building, the one with the res on it, is going to be very nice to have. But this is Nestle Pure Life getting into it. Dracos has to get out. It's going to be against TSM. Bambino's going to drop. It's Ronnie the Rat time. Can he get away? I'm not sure if he can get away from TSM. They're going to full send fairly quickly. You also have Team Pringles in on this one too, but Ronnie's sticking around. It looks like he wants to get some information. He's sticking around because he's pinched in between multiple squads. So nice try by Ronnie, but Team NPL going to drop. Again, it's Pringles and TSM with the pinch.
Yeah, and you can see Blighty trying to get up his Evo armor with that charge rifle as well. Oh, He takes some big damage there, and we'll see probably the Watson generator going down. There it is. They're going to pop that ultimate XL so he can heal up that armor, but they should be safe here for now. But with a lot of the northern teams making a more western rotation, I can't imagine there's too much more action that happens over here. A lot of people are going to try and get down south, down towards Lava City. There's some prime real estate to try and pick up, and we saw some of the pings, one of those being the 4 or 5 story building on the northeast side.
There's a lot of different buildings that you could hold. You could hold that where you were talking about on top of the hill as you make your rotation in. There's the building that's pretty far from that, that's just kind of solo over towards the Lava City side. And then you have about 5 to 6 different buildings that you could hold as we take a look at CLG fighting over towards the dome side. It looks like they want to rotate over here from this side of the map, which means if they clear this entire area out, they should have a decent rotation coming in. If you can come in from this side solo, depending on your weapons, you're going to be in a good spot. But looks like they're busting out Pow Pow on the Pathfinder over here. Madness getting extremely aggressive, only has 1 cell. So if they're going to take this fight, they're going to take it now in full send.
Yeah, and again, Skyhook, highly contested, and so they weren't able to get all of it, all the loot that they really want, but they're also really fast in terms of rotation timing. Right now, Pow stuck outside. He will grapple on up to the roof, just reconnects with his squad for now. They are fighting in the zone, but it is just zone 1, so they're not taking too much damage. They need to regroup and try to heal up. That's the port out from Madness, but Pow's not going to be able to get out.
Yeah, looks like Navi coming through with the cleanup right there. Nasky gonna get a knock onto Max Strafe, his former teammate as well. So a lot of action happening on this side of the map. Nice little comeback there for Madness, trying to get the banner of Pow. They realize that there's gonna be 3 teams over towards this side, so maybe gonna try to grab the portal play here with the beacon and get out of there, but no nade, so he's not gonna be able to handle that door, and here it comes. I would really love to see him try to hit this portal right after that, and there it is. Nice play by Madness.
Yeah, they should be able to recover him, but it looks like Vax says, no, we're going in, and he does. That's gonna be cooler out. They do hit top 15, but now Vaxlon has turned his attention onto Navi, who is coming in for the third party. Vax is on the hunt. He's got the 98. He's gonna get 9 impulse now, finish them off with the armor swap now on to the red Evo shield. That is some recovery coming out from CLG.
Not over quite yet, though. They have to finish this last player as we switch on over to Third Impact, one of the top teams over towards the EU side. It looks like they're going to take over where Team Pop-Tarts was trying to hold. They're getting some pings down over there. Madness is going to finish off the rest of Na'Vi. So like you said, Jamerson, a great recovery from CLG. Absolutely insane to win both of the 2v2s against 2 of the best EU teams. But there's Pop-Tarts getting the pressure coming in from both sides. This is a tough building to hold because you do have the team that wants to go and push you so they can be gatekeeping, but you're also going to be pinched by these teams over towards Geyser. Farmer Lucas realizing that, and they're going to start rotating a little bit earlier. I'm surprised that they didn't try to make a play probably about a minute and a half ago, 2 minutes ago, but they want to try to rotate through Geyser, which is going to just continue to be more difficult for them.
Yeah, and so they do have the port down. Blighty deciding to not take that port quite yet. He does have the information to work with on board with Team Applejacks, who are in Lava City proper right now, and can't imagine much action is going on over there, as honestly this is so fast. 13 squads left in the second zone right now. We got 1, 2, 3 squads on the south side of Lava City, 2 on the northern end, and then 1 also rotating in from the train tracks right now. So Applejacks, they haven't had the opportunity just because of the lack of teams down here in Lava City for them to evolve their shields yet. Plains currently sitting at 74 damage away from that purple.
Yeah, I'm curious what circle this is going to be because you have a lot of different pulls over towards the Lava City side. You have the one where these pings are, right where these train carts are. And if that's the case, getting into the train carts when there's about 5 teams left is a very solid play. And you know, one of the teams that I really like to watch on these Lava City zones is TSM, but we're on board with Luminosity here. Let's take a look at what Sonya's doing, and they have a fight happening over towards the sorting factory side. They also have the beacon hit, so trying to get rid of that crypto drone there so they don't get EMP'd. And now they're just going to back off a little bit. Not sure how many teams are in the vicinity, but it's nice to see all the different areas where teams are starting to rotate. And speaking of rotations, Team Razor coming in late like usual.
Yeah, but we have to remember they had that early fight. NRG pressed them at trials, and so they were going to be late. Right now, though, LG trying to back away as Rugby needs to heal up his armor along with Sonya. They've got the doors covered, and it looks like both teams are just waiting to stabilize here before they go for another one. The bubble's already down, though, for Ronnie, so there is a huge opportunity for this squad, which is why Rugby is going to go ahead and port them out. Ronnie backs out as well, and it's Sentinels that are laying into them right now. Oh, here comes Team Razor with the third party, though.
Yeah, Team Razor in the right place at the right time, but Sentinels looks like they're a little bit more healthy. Mercy's going to have to hit a med kit, though, because he's burning fairly quickly. He's going to try to go over towards the top. Not sure if that was the play. He's just a squeak away from getting in the zone, and now the sonar detected Bloodhound is going to show that that player is down. The decent thing is if he gets res, then that's not going to be that bad because he did hit the battery, but what a portal over towards the top. Now they're going to be able to use this knockdown shield, but it is going to be a 2 versus 3 against a top team, so not quite sure if they're going to be able to do this right here, as you are going to see a lot of pressure coming in from the Sentinel squad.
Yeah, take a look at Senox. He's already outside. He's already flanking around. That's caught Zeratricky out. It is a 2v3, but Senox has taken a lot of damage. And so now we will see if he goes for it, and he sticks it. But now we have Crust pushing forward here. They do have the golds out, but it's not going to be enough. Hakulo's gone. Zeratricky will go out, and now it's going to be Sentinels winning it out here at Sorting Factory.
Yeah, Team Razor just got a little too excited there, and then took a little bit too much damage. Unfortunate for Mercy that he thought he could play it safe, go around, and I would have definitely loved to see him hit a medkit before he hit that battery instead. But more action is you're going to see Team Pringles getting over here towards that building we were talking about as we take a look at which one this is going to pull towards. And I really feel like we're going to have that train cart ending, but Team Pringles on the back foot as they're going against Third Impact on top of the roof.
Yeah, Third Impact looking to make their entry into the building now. EMP comes out as Casellos will get revived back into this now. A lot of teams showing up here, and so Team Pringles will count their lucky stars that the third party came in just in time, as it looks like Liquid are getting involved in this as well. The bubble's down as Casellos is going to hold the front line for his squad. They're doing an excellent job so far trying to slow them down as Stink gets a trade, but they do lose Casellos now as Hundreds tries his best to survive. It's all up to Stink now left here, but he will go down. We'll see if Team Pop-Tarts can revive Blighty here, and it looks like they will.
Wow, what a play from Team Pop-Tarts, bringing it to Pringles in their own building. Now another team is over towards the roof, but I'm not sure how many players are on that team. A lot of resources here. Blighty needs to heal up. You see Fat Fruit Ninja definitely needs to hit a Phoenix as well if it's possible, but they're going to be able to use Hundreds in his generator. As you do see TSM getting into a fight with Rogue, and it's going to be dropped going down first. And like I said, I love to see TSM play these zones. Not surprised that they're already in a prime spot over towards Lava City. One thing to note, Reps has switched on over from the Watts, and they are going to rock the Bloodhound Gibraltar combination.
Yeah, we also have Albralele playing, I believe, on Team Liquid today as well. As a fill-in, I don't know exactly what's going on with that roster, but it's always great to have Al back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Rep's taking a lot of damage here. They're going to have another knock onto Lou. It's going to be dropped. That goes down again, and there's the rest of the squad. Rogue decimated by TSM. Everybody fairly healthy, too. Rep's the only one taking a substantial amount of damage, and they're just going to portal right on back here. TSM, like I said, locking down that 3-story building. By far the best building to lock down. Don't expect them to have that for free, though. There's going to be teams that try to split that one. Surprisingly, only 9 squads left in this zone, though.
Woo! The Kraber hit coming out from Blighty. He's got 10 shots total. Here comes the Thermites, as they have plenty of time to work with this. If they can get the knockdown, it'd be massive. Here we go with the Mastiff getting the first knock onto Ballon G, and now Third Impact will get finished off. That's Team Pop-Tarts taking out one of our EU representatives.
Pop-Tarts looking good. Applejack's in a solid position, too. We've seen them over here for a while now. TSM probably posturing somewhere around here, but you can see their building is safe. They're going to be big chilling here. Not that big of a deal for Applejacks as long as they're able to stay healthy. Having the EMP is big too, but you can see such a small amount of ammo as we take a look at that roster. Nocturnal Flanker and Albralele seems like Casper getting subbed in for, and like you said, always nice to see Albralele play, and it's funny to see him on the Wraith instead of any other legend here, but looks like they're going to be splitting up building, and like I said, not too surprising. This is what happens in these Lava City zones. It's going to come down to solid Wraith portals and probably about 3 or 4 teams in this final zone.
He's got that Prowler, doesn't have the select fire, but we all know that thing hits like a truck, as Albralele is able to clear out the bottom floor, and as the ring does pull away, I mean, there's still so many different ways that this circle can end. It can go over towards the tunnels or just end to the south here. We'll see exactly what the pull is like as we join Team Pop-Tarts making their way on in right now. Yeah, Farmer Lucas popping that last ultimate Excel to get his ultimate up, but really he needs to just heal at this point, as they should be able to get in. I like that they are going to go ahead and be safe with this one. Try to port in here. The EMP was just used as well. Ooh, and they're on the first floor. Someone's down there. That might be Abralele. He gets cracked almost, but Farmer Lucas is going to be able to secure this first floor for his...
Nice job. They're going to need to have Fat Fruitin just setting up immediately. Doesn't have the generator for about 30%. They also gave the ult Excel on over to Farmer Lucas so they could go and hit that portal, but that's a nuisance right there, having to deal with whatever player that is. And now that that is down, that fence right there, Fat Fruit Ninja is going to have to block that door. They've already lost their bottom door here, which is tough, but they do have the Kraber, they do have the Crypto Drone, so I really like the way that they're playing. This Pop-Tart's putting together a pretty solid game, but here's the zone. We're going to see where this one's going to pull. And if any buildings are in, look at that. 2 buildings are in, just a sliver on each side. So teams are going to split this definitely.
Yeah, and with multiple levels on these buildings, it should mean that we'll have another ring here before the conclusion of this map. At the very least, unless we've got pushes like this one. Farmer Lucas holds it down, as they already got the Watson trap set up. And now with the drone out as well, they'll get some valuable scouting information here, as they'll be able to safely do that right now. Bubble going down early for a squad.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that bubble was for. Maybe a grenade was coming in, or someone needed to heal up a little bit faster than expected. But we're taking a look at Applejacks, who's been locking it down for a while now. Hal going to get a knock right there. Madness going to finish that one off. That's going to be Sentinels getting a little bit weak here as we do start to see the team split the buildings. You have Lion and his squad with a nice little setup here. You're going to have Flatline Volt, which I really like this combination. Probably would like to have a Mastiff, but either way, you're going to see a lot of what he's doing. Crouching, strafing, back and forth. No reason to move here. It's all going to be about when this next zone comes. And you're going to even have teams playing outside of the building too. So I wouldn't doubt if every floor is taken and then the corners of each building's taken.
Yeah, so we have 7 squads left. That's basically every squad is a full squad, except for Sentinels, who I believe lost Senox earlier on. Rotation coming out. Thank you, cameraman, for showing us that on the drone. That was a nice little preview of what's going on outside. But Applejacks, there's no reason for them to move. So if you could swap off to another team, because can't really expect to see much else. There it is, CLG. That was the team on the rotation, and they're one of the few teams that are running that Pathfinder, so they do have some more options to work with, as Vax will just go ahead and throw down that Watson generator for himself and Pow, as yeah, multi-level buildings. We're gonna have a lot of teams still alive in this circle.
Great play there by CLG, and the fact that they're running Path here could prove very useful. Keep in mind, with so many teams that are going to portal towards the bottom, a zip line is going to be amazing. But now that this shifts over towards the other building, they have to take control of the opposite roof. There's no other option for them. This fight right in front of them is their next fight they have to take in a minute or so.
And they have the tools to do it, right? Pathfinder is able to follow up with Wraith if she tries to go in with a Q engage. Vaxes are preemptively going to use that ultimate Excel as the EMP did come out. We'll drop it down as they try to back away into the stairwell. Madness takes a lot of damage, and oh no! Reps comes in, takes him right on out. CLG are in a mad scramble right now as it's only Pow alive, as so many people have gone down. Team Applejacks coming in on that fight as well. Now Pow is going to try to survive for as long as he can. He does have that knock shield to try and help him out with the Arc Star now. Will trap one in. Will he get the knock? No. Somehow that player gets out of there. Team Liquid will finish off 303 during that mad scramble, and it looks like Sentinels have gone down as well. We are still down to 6 squads, so Sentinels are still in this for now.
Albrelli is getting a knock right there. That's going to be CLG getting finished. The Prowler in the corner, extremely strong for Team Liquid, and now this building is a little bit more safe as all hell broke loose. So many boxes over here, but now Nocturnal, I think, is taking damage from it. Has to be reps with this triple take, just doing ridiculous things. Blighty, I believe, still does have the Kraber. Not sure how much ammo he does have. So 5 shots left in this Kraber, has been doing damage, and now we see how important it was for Team Pop-Tarts to get over towards this side. I wouldn't be surprised if you do have Fat Fruit Ninja place his gen outside the zone as it comes in. He's actually going to put it in the corner, which is another safe bet here too. But look at TSM. They have the high ground, and now we see where this final zone is going to be.
I believe Alb is still alive, so Liquid might be okay until that happens. Snipe down gets the knock onto Albralele. And TSM are just putting short work into the rest of the lobby right now. We're down to 4 squads here, 10 players remaining. So I believe that it might be a solo still left alive. I'd like to swap around to other views if we can to see exactly, and there it is. Yep, it was Retzi trying to red it out. He got finished off by Reps, and so TSM have picked up so much AP as the drop down comes down from Klein, and there they go. They get cleaned up, and now we're down to a 3v2 here with the knock coming in. TSM understand exactly what happened. They come in for the third party, and they take the W.
Again, TSM, Lava City, they play these zones so well. There's a lot of different pulls over here, but as long as you get one of these buildings and you get the roof, you're going to be in a great spot. It's unfortunate for CLG. It's unfortunate for Liquid that TSM was able to just bully them out of that spot. And then the third party, perfectly timed by TSM, coming through, swooping to the bottom floor and making it easy. You saw Team Pop-Tarts, I believe, tried to get armor swaps. It wasn't fast enough. They flew down. Maybe if the armor swap came through, something would have been different. One grenade could have changed the entire fight right there, but it just was too fast by TSM. They responded so quickly.
Yeah, and we've seen so many Ws for TSM over there in Lava City. They have one of the fastest rotations coming out of Fragment East. They're able to gain control of buildings, and I like how they play that area. But, of course, it's also that macro understanding, because we see a lot of times when it comes down to Lava City ending, sometimes it can go over to Dome, but because it wasn't, they prioritized getting into a building. They had excellent control of it, so they also picked up a lot of kill points. I would love to see what the match score looks like at the end of that, because we got to see them get into fights early on as well, and picking up a lot at the end there. This could be a massive game number 1 for TSM.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and that's a great start. The fact that it was Albrelli dropping a snipe down is going to mean that Mac is going to come back with a vengeance in this next game. Team Liquid was in a pretty powerful position right there, but I was surprised to see CLG not pull that one out. If they were able to win the fight on the opposite side of the roof, having Pathfinder there as that zone was going to go and start to get a little bit smaller was going to be the play, but I'm surprised that it didn't get to that point. In these Lava City zones, you typically see a lot of portals going down. It's going to go all the way to that final little tiny circle, but it was a lot of aggression onto that bottom floor. It's unfortunate for Pop-Tarts that the team decided that they want to push on them.
Yeah, and so even though they were able to at least get up to second place, but we'll see exactly. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 here for Series E.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Yeah, welcome back to Series E, guys. As we have a quick replay of how that last match ended there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. It was, of course, Team Pop-Tarts versus TSM, and even though they had this great position, getting dropped down on, we saw that Team Pop-Tarts, they took way too much damage. They got surprised by the 3 drop, and even though they were able to clear this, they took a lot of damage. Take a look at the armor situation. Farmer Lucas also dropped down to about 75 HP. TSM understood that this was their opportunity to just close out the game, and that is what they did.
Really doesn't get more free than that for TSM. There's 1:17 left on the clock. Team Applejacks just sends it onto Team Pop-Tarts for some reason, bottom floor. That gets them a third place. So if they would have just played this one a little bit more patiently, we could have saw a different outcome. But the big difference is here is, look at no armor swaps coming in play. Fat Fruit Ninja backs away from the boxes. No one gets an armor swap, and it's just free shots right there coming in for TSM. There's zero chance that they lose that fight.
Yeah, it looks like there wouldn't have been much of an opportunity, as you saw TSM jumping down that elevator shaft as well. And so just way too much damage coming across, and is TSM understanding they know how to close out these late games. TSM gets into top 3, 90% of the time they win that out.
Yeah, but the thing is if you're Team Pop-Tarts, you could possibly win this. You have to understand the scenario. 3 teams left. Everybody's still in the building. get the armor swap, and each person needs to grenade somewhere. There's only 2 entryways, okay? And this is, I guess, where my Halo experience comes in, right? You have to protect yourself in times where you're in danger. How do you do that? You throw grenades and just protect yourself in an AoE type of way. So an armor swap with a grenade on the bottom floor, a thermite right there, an arc star over towards the other door. Next thing you know, you could be baiting TSM right in for exactly what you wanted. So as Team Pop-Tarts continues to get in a little bit more games, as they continue to go through these end games, because that was a very solid game for them, they're going to be able to pull these type of things off. They just have to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and so that was a great game for both TSM and Team Pop-Tarts. TSM walking away with 14 kill points in game number 1. They got 26 points overall. Team Pop-Tarts coming in second place will also pick up 8 KP along the way, putting them in second for 17 points. And Applejacks that are very close behind them with Team Sentinels in fourth place.
And we didn't get a chance to see where the teams were landing, so I can't wait to see what happens as each team drops off the ship, because we know that Sorting Factory is possibly contested by Team Intel. We know that we had a fight going on with NRG and Team Razor over towards the other side on the north side, Skyhook Trials side. So now we may see some fights. We may see some 50-50s. We may see some egos here. Still, there's 7 games to be played, so there is a couple of opportunities to try to let it fly here and establish your dominance in your spot, but I highly doubt any of these teams are going to give in.
Yeah, we didn't get to have as much of a pre-game as we kind of went straight into game number 1. But we have to remember that these are pro teams from both NA and EU/CIS. So drops are contested. One thing I believe I saw on Twitter was that Team Cooler decided they're not going to try and contest TSM at Fragment East. And so we don't even know where Team Cooler is dropping at this point. Where in all of their history, you know, as GSD, they had been dropping over at Frag East for the better part of the last 10 months or so.
That's not the team that I know. What's up with Nasky there? I don't know, being Mr. Nice Guy. But yeah, TSM, again, they're the kings of these Lava City zones. I mean, they're the kings of a lot of different zones. That's why they've been so successful. So watch out, because this lobby is completely stacked. You look at these teams, and we know that Team Rockstar was second place yesterday. They're coming out with a goose egg here in game number 1. You know, NRG is not going to sit down there. NPL, Intel, all these teams are going to end up bouncing back, but it's a great start for TSM. I'm more impressed, honestly, with Team Pop-Tarts and Team Applejacks, because I feel like they didn't play up to par yesterday. So I'm really proud to see them come through, have a good game number 1, and they're going to have to continue to do well.
Yeah, and you have to imagine a team like Team Razor feel really happy about the performance as well. Getting dropped on early, well, not dropped on, but getting pushed early on, having to take that fight, taking the fight up against NRG, who have been getting better and better. And they had a really, really great performance during PGL this weekend. And so we'll see if they continue to contest them right now. Don't know if Team Intel is still dropping at Sorting Factory. I think, you know, while you want to fight for a drop, Sentinels is going to be a hard sell on that point. And so this graphic might not be completely up to date. I also believe that Navi drops on Frag West. So I don't know if Pop-Tarts are contesting them there, as we did see Navi making it into like the mid game. So there are a lot of drops that can be shared, though.
Yeah, I mean, everything you see on the internet is true. So this graphic is 1,000% correct. There's no way this is not exactly where everybody's going to go. We're even going to draw little arrows next time and show you exactly where they're walking, so all the other pro teams get the advantage. Decent rotation, and if the zone pulls towards you, you're going to have a god spot. But I just feel like the loot kind of ends you in shambles. You don't get that much opportunity. You're only looting for about a minute, and then you're going to dip out. So we'll see who ends up walking away with it. One thing's for sure: Trials and Team Razor are going to be absolutely stacked the entire series if they have what they had last game.
Yeah, keeping an eye on Skyhook is going to be very important, I believe. Rogue, CLG, and Team Razor all up there. And typically Skyhook can be split by 3 teams, but that also means there's a high likelihood of early fighting going on over there. We'll find out in just a moment. We're on board with Team Pop-Tarts, who are dropping over at Frag West. And so what are Na'Vi doing in response to this? Is currently we don't have any pings. It's just all looting, and so they have to feel fairly safe. That must mean that Navi's dropping somewhere else.
Yeah, and decent start here is you're gonna have a blue ping and you're gonna have a purple inside of Fat Fruit Ninja's hands, and very solid.
Navi's here.
Oh, they're there. They're going to split this off. So maybe possibly a 3 teams over at Fragment, maybe 4, as now shots going and being laid down onto Blighty. Nobody grabbed that blue armor, so Blighty has a horrible start in terms of what his guns are. I would, you know, some people like the Sentinel. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just feel like it's a little bit too risky. If you miss your shot, you are reloading for about a year. So some people like that quick scope. If you hit your shot, you're going to be doing really well. But something more consistent like R301 would be nice for him, or maybe even like a charge rifle or triple take. So we'll see as they do start to group up on this construction building, which is the play. You want to hold over towards this height, but looking at where this zone is pulling, it's going to be fairly central. So it's going to be exciting to see who gets this early rotation and where exactly this is going to be.
Yeah, there we go. He's trying to decide what he wanted. There we go. Picks up the extra ammo. And it is going to be a very western circle there, going over towards Lava Fissure and staging. So it's interesting to see that teams aren't moving, especially for such a far rotation.
Yeah, and I think this is going to continue to pull over towards the west side, most likely over towards the south side. And there's not going to be many reasons or many places to play, so I agree with that reasoning. Teams need to start moving, and they need to move fast. We'll see what Third Impact wants to do. We know how many teams are over towards the Fragment side. There's going to be action over there, but it's one of the things that's tough about Fragment is it doesn't stop. It's just one of those points right in the middle of the map where it's third party after third party. It looks like Third Impact doesn't want anything to do with that. And now we go on board with Team Rockstar, who has probably one of the furthest rotations in the game.
We also saw that Third Impact were considering using that balloon, but they saw that people were just way too close. They weren't even going to risk it there. Team Rockstar getting challenged. Rakanisha already cracked there on the Gibraltar. He started off with that blue armor, but now is a little bit of trouble. Does have that battery, and they haven't quite fully pushed it from the other side. And so that's going to allow them to try and clap back on them. There's one right below them. They've got to be careful. The Wraith is trying to climb up. They should hear that, but they haven't responded quite yet, as Rakanishu is trying to keep an eye out for now. Both of these teams might just be griefing each other, as it looks like there's another squad coming in. Or was that just a Wraith portal?
This is tough because they have such a far place to go. But yeah, zone is zone, and when you're playing Edge, you're playing Edge. But it looks like Pickett, did he charge that thing up? He did. Very rarely do you see someone charge the Sentinel up, so he would completely rip someone with just a shot. As you look at a team that's finally rotating, looks like it's going to be Pop-Tarts trying to get out of here, but they're going to have to set down this early Wassergen, which means they're taking a fight, and that team's going to be up on the sniper tower, and this is a tough spot to be. I mean, that gen gets down instantly. You have no chance unless you land an amazing grenade here, so Fat Fruit Ninja is going to have to Kobe up towards there.
Yeah, they're already dropping down on top of them right now. As Team Pop-Tarts, they're just trying to take cover. Fat Fruit Ninja takes the one cell and will be able to get the one clip onto Madness now. Turns around for the next one, and wow, Fat Fruit Ninja is putting in work. It's down to a 1v1. Will he get the bat off? No, he's already getting charged, and he will go down. CLG's Pow Pow comes in to clutch up this fight, but that was too close for comfort. As we already know, Third Impact was also rotating this way as well. I think Rogue might have put a stop to them, though. And so CLG are counting their lucky stars that they're able to survive that. They're not getting third-partied as we swap on over to Team Intel, who are deep in the circle right now, controlling the choke where this ring is probably going to pull.
I would have loved to see Fat Fruit Ninja thirst whoever's on the ground in front of him, probably Madness, get the armor swap, and then take that fight. Battery, it just takes too long. It's not going to pop off in time. You saw him doing a great job, though. Amazing shots. Nice job by CLG, though, coming through, taking the high ground, picking these guys apart. But we go back to the world's longest fight. It's going to be Team Rockstar over here going against Cooler. Great damage from Crummy, weakens both players. It's going to be up to Rakanishu coming through here. He's going to drop the counter bubble, but that player does have full shields. Amazing Massive coming in through 112. Rakanishu's going to pick up a knock. He picks up 2 knocks there, right there onto Yuki. Gets a nice armor swap. Perfect plays coming out. And also going to try to figure out where the rest of these guys are. There's the final player hiding behind the knockdown shield. And Rakanishu, we were talking him up yesterday on this Gibraltar. Ridiculous plays. That's how you bait and switch. But you also got to give credit to Matt Pickett getting in there and getting his hands dirty, creating the space for his teammates. That 112 Massive changed the fight.
Now, this fight did take a long time. You have to imagine they were trading damage, so we'll see how much they can recover. But NPL now controlling or trying to push in to that train connector now from Fragment, as they're going to push forward with the Beast of the Hunt, with the Q as well. It doesn't look like there's many in front of them right now, but it's Applejacks who are in trouble. Kenny has to try and survive, but he will fall. That's going to be LG to take them out.
LG, one of the better team fighting teams that we have here, and like you said, the Pathfinder Wraith combo works so well together as we take a look at Team Intel. And this is one of those old Mirage circles, it looks like, so they're just going to try to set up at one of these houses. As we take a look at 303 going on against Sentinels, one player knocked. It's going to be Retzi. Crust going to back off behind the door, but the own bubble is being used against him. Snipe down getting involved on LG with the third party as well. It's up to Crust with the nasty shots. Hemlock Scout combination. He's just going to try to hip fire this thing and finishes him off. Bubble up in about 18 seconds. He's going to have to probably throw an ultimate just to distract and keep people off of him. See, if he would have just chucked his ultimate right there.
He was trying to close the door.
Yeah, but if he
trying to close the door.
I really feel like, listen, Crust is an amazing Gibraltar, no doubt about it, but there's a couple of natural Gibraltar players that are already making that play and already have that game sense. And I'm not saying that Crust doesn't, maybe at a different call out, but that's 1,000% a time for a Gibraltar ult. Buy time for your bubble to come up, hit the res for your boy. Those guys can't charge through that. It's defensive bombardment. Use it on defense.
Yeah, unfortunate there. We'll see if he can recover. It is still on the edge of the circle, so he might be able to get the rest of the Sentinels boys back into this right now. We're down to 15 squads, 43 players as Team Intel. They basically just have the God spot in this ring right now. As if we could swap over to another team, that'd be awesome. Because I can't imagine much is happening right here. It's more on the edges that we're looking for action. No, we're not looking for team. There we go. Team Razor rotating in from the northern side of the map, and this is what we're talking about. This is one of those edge teams moving down south now. They're able to safely get in as they haven't found much action quite yet, but I like how cautious they're being throughout this rotation. There is a team in front of them.
You know who takes the same exact rotation as CLG? I've played against CLG on this zone so many times. They're typically holding that building that's over there in the high ground, and they stick you down low, and it's tough to get out of there, so we'll see what happens with Team Razor. But we're on Team Nestle Pure Life right now as E-Boy Ronnie switching it up, and he's playing the Watson. It's going to be Bambino on the Wraith.
Yeah, and this is surprisingly enough, just because the zone's going to come in about minute 30. There's the port out, so they don't want to be involved in this fight. Dracos is going to watch the back for them, as they do have to be careful. Oh boy, Bambino, he's got 2 damage left to try and get the upgrade, but instead he needs to pop that bat beforehand. It's just a little bit unsafe for NPL right now. It hurts to see.
Shoot
I know. Oh, it looks like Sentinels were able to get Senox and Resi back into this, but with that res, Senox did go down, so Crust not able to do much at all. They went all the way over to Geyser. Wow.
Good luck, guys. You got one Phoenix kit to make it all the way over there. As we take a look at what CLG is doing, they already made the rotation. I wouldn't doubt if the team that Team Razor was shooting was CLG, as they made their way over towards the bottom side. Typically, they hold the top, but it feels like if they're going to get there this early, which is surprising that this is open, a lot of zones pull over here, actually exactly where they're at. So the team that's on the high ground over here, which is NRG, aka greater than O/, they're going to be rocking this high ground, and this high ground is extremely useful. Team Intel's within the vicinity too, so a lot of good teams right here setting up.
I thought Team Intel had this area, or I guess they're just playing a bit further east or all the way over by the choke. Senox does ultimately fall down to the ring. They did not have enough heals. And so now NRG are just controlling the south side here. It's going to be very difficult, but we'll see if they can try and force that team to their south out. That's the biggest risk that they're running right now.
Yeah, and we're looking at Team Cheez It, who had a solid performance yesterday in their 2-3 win. They're going to rotate over here with the Crypto Drone, with the Caustic. The barrel's coming down just to watch their back, but this team over towards the choke is going to be a nuisance. They have a decent amount of real estate. You have the Watson fences down, but you can see they're kind of moving all over the place. One guy over towards the rock, 2 more kind of playing this low ground, but I do like the angles Cheez-Its are taking. Having the 3x Scout is going to be solid. Prowler is solid too, but A lot of ground to make up. You are in this next zone as it closes. You're going to be safe for about 3 minutes, but eventually this fight in front of you is going to have to be taken as Third Impact gets a knock on the Team Razor.
Yeah, we got to see Strictly do some amazing stuff in this specific valley just yesterday as well, winning out 2v3s and just doing an amazing job. So they're pretty comfortable right now as we're seeing Team Razor going down. Third Impact have already taken out 2. No, Mercy only was rezzed back into this. It's the fight going on the northern side right now. Third Impact, they want to get involved, but they also know that Rogue are in the area. So Third Impact might just back off from this one.
This is the building that I was talking about that CLG likes to hold, but instead, it's going to be Team Razor inside. There's the portal coming in for Third Impact. Multiple teams stuck over towards this fissure side, and they're just going to give up on this one, play the low ground. And if you're on the low ground on the lava fissure side, that means you are not in a good spot. And it's exactly what Balloon realizes. He eats one to the face there. That's going to be Bird getting the knock, and now sitting on the bottom of the map, just hoping and praying that nobody sees you. As we take a look at what's going on with Mercy's point of view, there is that res in front of him. Almost going to be impossible. One res behind you over towards the fissure side, but this game much slower than the previous one, Jamerson. 15 squads left going into Zone 3.
Yeah, Team Rice Krispies got involved in that fight as well. And they do have the port to work with as they've gotten a knock onto Max Strafe from Na'Vi. How many teams are in this area right now? You can see 2 ports in front of us as well. Team Rice Krispies Streets, they need to make some space for themselves. 1 minute and 10 seconds before the zone starts closing. There's going to be Bird with that defensive bombardment. Try and clear out that angle. Sung has his barrels out as well. There is a squad inside that building, and now he's going to make his entry. We'll see if there's a Watson generator there as Team Rockstar are taking a fight on the south side, and they took this fight yesterday. Now it's 165, excuse me. Team Cheez-It. Rakanishu tries to get the thirst, tries to go for the armor swap, but he does get finished off. Amaze will be the only one surviving for his team, but he's got no HP. He has 1 cell. He gets finished off.
Yeah, that's going to be Nocturnal coming in. I know TSM was involved as well, so I wonder where everyone's going to be setting up at as Nocturnal's going to hit this battery, and they're going to be getting into a fight over here with Team Razor taking down Lou from Rogue, and I'm not sure if they have a full team or not, but now it's going to be Hakulo dropping as well, and so many teams, like you said, over towards this lava side trying to make their way over towards this third-party area where Mirage used to spawn. But Rice Krispies over here picking up loot, coming in for a late push, and they may be able to pull this one off as Na'Vi is going to get the knock onto Rogue.
Oh man, they are just going to choke him out, quite literally, with the toxic gas coming in as well. And there it is. That's going to be the kill on to that last final remaining member. I believe that's Mercy only going down. So now Team Rice Krispies, they're able to weed out a lot of the weaker teams on the northern side as they are now rotating on in. Team Nestle Pure Life are in position to try and do some damage. Looks like Dracos is trying to lurk for that, but they need to get in with the zone as well. Going to take some unnecessary damage, but
ouch.
They've got to be okay as right now they do have to pop their abilities just to try to get in. Oh my goodness, Dracos. Okay, he's got cover to work with. We'll see how many heals he has, but that was a lot of unnecessary damage.
That was super unnecessary damage. What I feel like is that's an experience going on between switching Bambino onto Wraith there and Ronnie onto Watson. At that point, your Wraith is already supposed to be picking places to go. They should have Watson fences up already. None of these things are happening over here. They're trying to play it sneaky and just slowly approach their way over here. But look at this, so many armor swaps for TSM in this building. They thought this zone was going to pull over here, but it doesn't. It goes up towards the high ground and more towards the south side, and now they're going to start to make their move. You definitely are going to have Snipe down on this Bloodhound, popping his ultimate very soon so he can get the scans. There goes the big scan. There goes the information, and Reps already uses defensive bombardment.
Yeah, they needed to clear out that angle. I believe they were chasing after Albralele. Or, I imagine that's who, actually he wasn't on the Pathfinder, was he? Never mind. As TSM have to back away now, they are getting pushed from the other side as well. They back up into their building. They've got the Gibraltar bubble down. They'll be able to stabilize off of this as they've got 50 seconds to try and get up to the high ground. Hal should have his portal, will have his portal in time for this, but it's how hard does CLG gatekeep in this area?
Snipe down's going to drop. It's going to be
Oh.
Navi with the CLG pinch, and this high ground extremely potent there, especially when you're rocking a triple take like this. Everything's stacked. You have the stock, you have the mag, 3x as well, and Madness just waiting for players to pop out. You know they're desperate to try to get that res on a snipe down. I don't think it's going to happen as we take a look at what's going on with Team Liquid and Mac.
Yeah, they've got the south side of this ring. It is going over towards that choke as Flanker took a lot of damage there, but they should be okay for now. TSM looked like they got finished off as well, but oh no, NRG coming in for the pinch. They take out Knock, and now it's all up to Flanker and Abralele to try and win out in this fight. Oh boy, the tables have been turned. We'll see if Flanker can win this one out, as he does have to back off to reload that Prowler now. He's rounding the corner here. Just have to be careful. Does have the pings coming out from his squad. They will be able to get the wipe onto NRG.
Yeah, and not going to get the res either. He's just going to try to dip out of there. This one is going to burn quite badly as we take a look at it. Exactly what CLG should be doing. They're holding this high ground. We talked about this spot. It's very potent. And Pau with the perfect weapons. Just laying down fire with that triple take. 6 kills overall. 4 squads left in this zone, and we've seen this zone very often. In this choke over here, that is the spot to hold as CLG now adding the pressure as the rest of the team's starting to rotate towards the edge.
Yeah, it's 4 squads left, and you got question marks up there, so you know that the other teams are damaged, are bruised. And NPL isn't, though. Their armor's not in the greatest of situations. As the E-boy Ronnie, he's about to get knocked. That's the first one to go down. It's going to be Sentinel's Retzi to pick him up with that triple take, and so now NPL down to a duo, porting on out. Bambino has a small corner to work with, but there's a nade in front of him. He tries to get into the queue, and he will, but will he be safe once he comes out as E-boy Ronnie gets cleaned up? Dracos will fall, and now we're down to our top 3 Sentinels. We'll see if they can recover here as the bubble comes down. CLG aren't going to push their limits quite yet. They'll take their time, and there we go. There's the full send with that Pathfinder going in. He has to be careful. Pau took a lot of damage, and Crust gets the knock, but CLG will be able to clean that one up now. We have an armor swap here for Vaxlon as he wants to finish this one out. It's going to be a 1v2. Justin Watson on the other side. The Massive is there, and CLG will take game number 2.
Nice job by whoever that Watson was, staying alive throughout all of that, but man, you just got to give it to Powell. The way that he was able to just dominate on top of that rock, continue to lay down damage with the triple take, sends it into the bubble. It's exactly what you want to do in that scenario. I'm not sure if he knew it was only 2 players, but coming through as the Pathfinder, opening things up for your team is exactly what you want to see from CLG. We knew that they were in a good position in the previous game to do something as well, but it's not surprising, right? We have 2 of the top teams here in Apex history with CLG and TSM, and they just won both game number 1 and game number 2.
Yeah, well, with TSM getting close to a top finish there also, they might be able to maintain their lead. We'll see exactly where everything shapes up, but that's just game 2 out of 8. That's right. We've got the long haul ahead of us here, Tom, and so a lot more action, but we've seen 2 diverse zones, so already a great start to the day.
1,000%. And I can't wait to see exactly what happens here with the rest of these squads, because we know how on fire they can catch, right? Right now it's the CLG TSM show, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Intel popping in here, Rockstar, Rice Krispie Treats, Razer. They're definitely going to get in and have some big games. It's just a matter of when and who is it going to be.
Yeah, so we're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have game number 3 of Series E Day 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Hey, shake it, kiddo.
Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E. 2 games down, 6 more to go, as I am joined here by Tom T-Squared Taylor. We've already had some explosive matches, Tom.
We have TSM took the first one, CLG coming through with the second one. Can't wait to see where this zone's going to pull. It's been fairly even so far. We haven't seen anything too ridiculous like we saw yesterday. I mean, it was the first 4 games. We had three of them pulling over towards Skyhook. I'm sure the teams would love that today. It was only Team Razor yesterday dropping over towards the Skyhook side. So it's been TSM now with a slight lead, only 1 point. Sentinels right there behind both of these guys, though. Team Liquid doing their part with Mac as the sub in for Casper, but Team Pop-Tarts and Team Applejack still there after their decent game number 1.
Yeah, and, CLG did pop off in that last game. They had 13 kill points along with the plus 12 from taking first there. And so the 1 point differentiating them and TSM was the additional kill point that TSM got in game number 1, where they popped off 14 kills and taking first. So very, very even matches so far as we head into game number 3. Now, a lot of our questions in game number 2 were answered. What's happening on the drops? Are teams being contested? And we did see that, of course. Team Pop-Tarts getting challenged over at Fragment West. That slows them down. We have Na'Vi over there. We're seeing fights going on everywhere as Skyhook is also contested. NRG did move out of the way of, I believe it was Team Razor. Didn't challenge them that time around. But we'll see if we have a different case if the zone pulls differently. We are on board with Team Cheez-It, though, over here on the northeast side of the map, dropping over at Refinery and also splitting, getting all this for free, which is surprising because I believe Third Impact drops in the area as well.
Yeah, 303 going to get into an early fight, too, so E-Boy Ronnie and NPL going to stick with it. He's going to stay on this Watson. They're going to land over towards the no-name side, which... not the best loot, but probably one of the fastest rotations that you could have. The one thing they have to worry about is TSM is hot on your trail with better loot, and it's just so surprising that they can loot almost twice the area as you and then get over towards your spot. That's how fast they are and efficient as they are on their routes. So probably in the next 20 to 25 seconds is when you're going to want to dip out. Dracos didn't even find an armor throughout all of that, so they're going to try to maybe make their way over towards Overlook, see if it's taken. You do have these bins here, about, let's see, 9 bins that you could open, as it's going to be Jazzaz and Third Impact getting a knock over here, and that's going to be a Maze dropping early. Not the full squad, still 20 squads left, but nice job by Third Impact finding a pick.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Third Impact should be in the area to contest them, and that is exactly what happens. A Maze going down now. That's going to leave Strictly and Nades in a tough spot here, as they are a little bit split. Strictly will back away for now, but you can't imagine at this point, with a minute 20 to go before the zone starts closing, that they'll be able to recover this banner safely. Nades gets cracked. He's gonna pop this bat. Strictly covers the angle for him. He cracks the other one on the side, but no, Jazz will come in with the melee, take him out, and it looks like Team Cheez-It might not be long for the world here. He does get a knock onto Jazz, but has to juke away from that nade. He's got the Mastiff out, will pop that bat, but now he's getting pushed here. The Watson is up front, hits him for 84, is trying to chase after him, gets the knock. Will Strictly be able to do it? No! Oh, Third Impact narrowly win that out, as Zicky will be able to get his teammates back up.
Thought Strictly was going to do it just like he did yesterday. Ridiculous plays coming out from him. He's feeling confident. That was a tough 2v3 that they almost won. If he could have just avoided that grenade or possibly hit a battery, I would have probably say he wins that fight. As we take a look at Team Rockstar, they're getting knocks over here onto Cooler. They're even going to get the finish. That's going to be a full squad wipe. Only one player down. That's going to be Crummy. Easy res. Are there any teams in the vicinity for a third party, though? Looks like they're going to loot up safely and not that big of a rush for Team Rockstar, wiping out, again, one of the top EU teams.
We're no strangers. Oh, boy. To third parties. We're no strangers to Cooler challenging people on drop. I mean, that's what you were alluding to at the pre-show to this right now, but Rockstar have gotten the better of them now. We'll see if they can reconnect and stabilize here, as Crummy needs to try and get some of those heals off right now, but it looks like they're not getting too pressured and they feel relatively safe. It might have just been some poking coming out from Dome.
Yeah, I'm looking at this zone and I'm not quite sure exactly what the map's going to show. We don't have a scan yet, but the way that it's shaped, I wouldn't doubt if it may be over towards the sorting factory side, or this choke wouldn't be a bad spot to hold as we take a look at what's going on with Team Intel. First time we've seen them get in a skirmish in quite some time. This is going to be an even 3-on-3. They're going to have to charge that bubble, though. Defensive bombardment coming through. Nice Watson gen coming through by Tempest, but Teen is the only one not to take damage as the rest of Team Intel going to be pushed by LG. Sonya gets a knock, Rugby gets a knock as well, and they just continue to dominate these team fights. Team Intel collapsing immediately.
Yeah, that was just a quick team fight coming at them here. It's Team Pringles that are in the middle of the zone. As we did see the reveal, it looks like it is coming down here, down to launch. And so Pringles have the zone. They've got the Watson traps set up as well, but they are giving up some ground now, backing away to a different corner here. They don't have to fight for this. And I agree with that. They know that LG or another team are not too far off in the distance. We know how quickly third parties can arrive to this fight.
All they have to do here is focus on getting Casellas armored up here, has the Sentinel, has the R301, just a couple of shots here, getting a blue, getting a purple would be huge, because if they get checked, shield checked here on the Casellas end, they're going to get charged, and you don't want to get charged here because the other team's going to come in, weaken you, and then they're going to get third party. No matter if you win the fight or not, this spot will be taken. So it's super important for them to get some poke damage on, try to find some players. It's not even a bad idea to get a little bit risky and show yourself and expose yourself for some sort of a better angle as we take a look at what's going on. I believe over towards the tree side, it's going to be NRG. Frex there with the great shots with the scout. He's going to take out that generator and just reload. That's pesky for the other Watson to take out your generator. Definitely a Watson on Watson feud going on over here towards this tree side.
There was also a ping for a gold backpack, and so that's going to be a great addition to that one. Gibraltar composition. Team Pringles is still holding it down here in the middle of staging. Can't imagine much is actually happening. They're just doing a good job of checking both the choke and, of course, the other teams around the area right now. They're forcing LG back, and
portal play here
no one
for
is
Stink.
able to push up from here.
Yeah, there you go, Stink. Exactly what you want to see, man. Portal play in on that. Get aggressive. I love this play. Hundreds can watch you from this top ground, and you could add so much pressure to this team. It's going to be tough for these guys to get out of there. One grenade is all they need. There goes the res. If you can find the weak player, that would be huge, but nice job by this Wraith to come through, lay down that support, and Casellas doesn't come in on this push. So I would have loved to see two players go in on this as Hundreds sat back, but a little too passive there, and they're not able to take advantage of what's in front of them. Rogue busting out an interesting combination here. Is Sweet is going to go on Revenant. You're going to have drop on the Caustic. Lou on Wraith. Looks like they're going to have a little bit of fun with this one and try out something new.
Yeah, I believe they were trying it earlier on. I definitely saw a Revenant Q when we were at that Lava City fight, but we just never ran over to Rogue to see exactly what they were running. So they were at least running it in game number 2. Rockstar, though, making their rotation in. Well, they're just stepping outside of their drop zone as LG were able to make that push onto NRG, finishing them off. We barely caught the tail end of that fight.
NRG is not playing around right now, and Team Rockstar hasn't even made it out of Lava City yet. So tons of action going on back and forth. Rakinishu is going to be dropped, so they're going to try to get that finish. Just a sliver of health before he hits the portal. Draco's going to fall as well. This time to third impact. Big fight happening over here. Nice shots by Bambino, but it's not going to happen. Now it's up to Ronnie. Doesn't matter which character he's on. He's still the last guy alive. That door is going to collapse very shortly. It's already open. He's going to set the gen down. I like this play. No grenades are going to be able to come in. Might as well start hitting some cells if he's able to. But no, so much pressure. He's absolutely screwed. Nice job by Ronnie staying alive as long as he could. But third impact, pressuring hard.
Yeah, we know how strong third impact is as well. Just playing the edge right now. And to rotate far, far from the north. And remember, they were slowed down on their rotate. This is typically a team that pushes really quickly. It's Team Liquid on the north side of launch, as they do have the majority of this building to work with right now. All the fences are set up as well. The crossfire is there as Nock tries to go for that flank. Spots one out, does some decent damage, but it's all about showing presence. It's all about making sure you're not getting pushed by other teams, and Liquid are doing a great job. Nock is 50 damage away from getting that purple evil shield for himself, but they should be able to find it in time. They've got the Sentinel with plenty of ammo behind it.
Tons of ammo. We could let this one fly, and there's an ending that's right in front of them, right where they were peeking out. There's that ramp right there. Fairly popular one. that pulls to that exact spot, but we're not quite sure yet because we need to scan on the third zone before we know exactly what's going on. You can see Prowler, no select fire, Mastiff coming in through Haculo, and it's always interesting to see what everybody likes to go and use, because myself, I most likely would have picked up that wingman. However, you do have 326 shots in the Prowler, almost 400 ammo in the Scout, so that's looking solid as this is going to pull back down towards launch site. Everybody in sorting factory is going to have to eventually rotate, so the team that's in a very good position to get a lot of kills right now is Team Liquid.
Third Impact, though, on the rotates are finding so many kills. 303, the next one's in their crosshairs. It's all up to Fury. The hip fire with the 301, just not enough. He will go down in Third Impact. That's 3 team fights that they have won out in this game so far. So much KP, and this is a squad that you don't want to start off this strongly.
Rarely do you see Third Impact running around and just clearing teams up, kind of like how Complexity would do, or teams that play the edge. But I typically ping Third Impact for a team that sets up in the zone, plays it fairly safe. Now they're starting to show what they're made of in terms of their team fighting ability, which, like you said, is scary that they're able to turn it up right now. And you got to worry if you're the other teams. Rice Krispie Treats, they're stuck. They're in this office area. Again, tons of teams are going to be gatekeeping in this spot. They don't know which way this one's going to pull, but they're just trying to own whatever real estate they can and look through this window so they can get any type of information on their next rotation. They're going to probably have to push right directly into a team and win a team fight. So we'll see what happens with them as we continue to stay on board. But Rockstar over here, they're safe. They're coming in again from this side of the map. They haven't made much ground, Jamerson, throughout this entirety of the game. I think we've been about 10 minutes in, and they've moved about 150 meters.
Yeah, it's the tortoise and the hare at this point, but a lot of tortoises actually just running around the map. You got to be careful, though. Third Impact could be rotating down this way. There is a team still over at Dome for whatever reason. So, yeah, it looks like Rockstar's not going to get far. The zone pulls away from them once again. It is going down over towards launch. That's no big surprise. So we'll see. Team Rockstar might have an idea to try and push this Dome team, but the presence of another team to their north might slow them down. On board with Team Pop-Tarts that have a little rotation ahead of them. They do have the port to work with, but there are so many squads. They need to figure out how to approach this one safely, as we still have 1 minute and 45 seconds before this zone starts closing.
You could see Fat Fruit Ninja, he's pinging where he thinks possibly players are going to go, or they're just sending into spots where they're trying to figure out what is safe right now. So this is where you decide which teams you're going to take down, how you're going to take them down, etc. But it's going to be Lou dropping. Is he going to get thirsted? Another nade going to come in. Sweet. Trying to do what he can. It's going to be Sonya coming in. This is 2 different teams, I believe. Or is it just LG putting the amount of pressure that it looks like 2 teams? Sweet. Now sets up that death totem. There's going to be the caustic trap coming in for dropped. I love that play with the caustic gas to try to buy some time, but there it is. There's another team coming in here. It's going to be Pop-Tarts just getting exploded immediately. Poor Fat Fruit Ninja.
Oh, they thought they were going to be able to come in for the third party, but for the simple fact that, of course, the fight ended and it was just slowed down. The attack deflected. LG were able to just completely pull a 180 on them. Ronnie has lost one to Rogue, and it looks like the tables have been turned. We have a lot of damaged teams now. Team Pop-Tarts down to just a solo. Blighty will be able to recover them with the drone. We'll see if we can get the res for them as well, but there's only 30 seconds left. They're right here, though. Oh man, so much action has happened. 12 squads, 33 players remaining, as it looks like Sentinels have gotten into a fight with Na'Vi.
Yeah, and Team Pringle's picking up some of the loot that they just deserved over here, and Sync only needs to hit a syringe, and they're going to be right back to super safety on this high ground, and this is a fantastic spot to be right now. You have plenty of ammo. You have this ult with purple mag as we take a look at what's going on with Na'Vi. Against Sentinels, it's going to be Claus is the last guy alive. He's going to drop. It's going to be a full 3-man Sentinels squad. Completely healthy, only losing a little bit of armor chunk here as they're just going to re-heal that up and look for the next fight.
Yeah, so it seems like it was Sentinels who were lurking about here at the south side of Dome. On board with LG, as it looks like they were able to fully recover despite that knock coming out from Rogue, and they're just gatekeeping Rogue on the other side. As you can see, there is the Revenant. Ronnie taking a lot of damage. Has to back away, but he will go down to Zera Trickie's defensive bombardment. Team Razor coming in with the pitch. They've also got the angle and that Watson gen down here, as Zera Tricky will go ahead and bubble for his squad to save them for now. Zera Tricky himself will slow it down with that bat, and they will be able to take this team fight win after they're fully healed up. Rogue is gone.
And not only that, another team pushing in thinking that they're weak, but they're not as weak as you were expecting. Rice Krispies Treats, they do find the knock. It's going to start off with Stunny. Great wingman shots coming out as Stunny and Song are going to take a lot of damage. It's up to Bird over here. 2 down, 2-on-1 right now. It's Zera Tricky for Team Razor now in the 1v1, taking out the triple take. Can he do it? Possibly a clip for Twitter, Zera Tricky. You got to do it to him, but there's the third party.
No.
Just ruining all of the hopes and the dreams and the clip and the montage. It's TSM.
It's TSM coming in, gang, to finish them all off. And they're doing it with plenty of time to work with as well. 1 minute and 20 seconds. And I believe it was, because Liquid. Oh, Albert Laley. Yup, that's what I was talking about coming in. He's got that Kraber, gets the knock onto Snipe down. And a little bit of karmic retribution there. Albert Laley wants to send it on to that squad, and oh my god! Albert Laley hits another shot, gets another knock. Will he be able to get the full squad wipe in a 1v3? No, the rest of Liquid is here. Knock is not going to give him the satisfaction. Nocturno will get the kill onto Imperial Hal, and what a turn of events.
That has to feel good for Albarelli coming through with the Kraber and slapping his former squad, subbing in for Team Casper on Liquid. Great job with the Kraber. 5 shots left in this one. We have to stay on board with Mac to see what he's going to be able to do. What an exciting sequence as TSM thought they were safe, thought the third party was perfect, but it's the fourth party from Team Liquid and Mac that just did serious damage and work.
And they had full control over this area, so it's going to be a safe rotation for them to come in. Well, it's still a little dangerous. There's 9 seconds before the zone starts closing, but they've got the portal to work with. They've cleared out their back. There's 5 squads left. It's all full squads. They even get the scan, and so we know exactly where the next ring is going to pull as they are making their decision now. Still riding that adrenaline high, but they've got their brains on, their heads on tight, as they're still trying to think of the macro game here.
Team Pringles still in a prime position as they predicted this circle fairly early, and they're going to rock this top high ground spot, which is a super dominant to have. Casellas just needs to make sure he doesn't make any major mistakes. They need to use the gen up here to slow heal, but instead he's going to hit a couple of cells and waste his resources, which there's still plenty of time left in this game. I get it, only 5 squads left, but yes, take your time. Just regen up. No big deal over here as we find out where this is going to rotate. They're most likely going to be in.
Alb hitting another Kraber shot, taking out hundreds, but they do have that res to work with. TSM trying to push up right now, but they're not going to be able to take advantage of that knock, convert that into a team fight win. They're still stuck on the low ground, but take a look at the ring pulling away from that building. So TSM might actually be happy just to wrap around, but we've got a lot of squads underneath this building right now.
Yep. All you got to do here is a slow portal play, or you just do a nice little bubble push, and you could probably hold this little ledge in this high ground. You see pings going down over towards the rock. The most important thing right now is pick your spot, but everyone needs to spread out and start finding out where the rest of these teams are, right? So you have to find out which way you're going to rotate through and make sure no one comes and takes your spot and no one comes behind you. So I do like this play coming in for Team Pringles, checking the area, doing it together. Don't get into a full engagement with this team, but at least push them out and force them to rotate before you do.
Yeah, you don't want to use your bubble too early here, which is going to be so necessary in this next pull. And they do back away. They've got all of this building to work with. And here is Stink setting up that portal for his squad, as they're going to go ahead and send it all the way on over to this rock, which I don't know if this is actually in for them. It looks quite close.
Definitely in. They pinged it before. You could see... Oh, it's not in. It's just on the edge of in. So they could walk in and use that for different angles, which is exactly what they're trying to do. Maybe even bait a team out, but it's going to be Pow getting the knock right there. Starting on to Mac, and now Nocturnal's going to fall as well. Third impact getting involved. Team Liquid unfortunately falling apart towards the tail end here. Maybe didn't have the rotation planned out, or it's just tough because everybody playing this one towards the building on the bottom. Third Impact, we've seen them dominating so far in this game, and the last team to rotate towards the edge is going to be Third Impact, which means there's going to be plenty of action in front of them to pick apart. It's going to be Sentinels dropping CLG. Now 2 teams remain on top of Third Impact, but they definitely have the most kill points right now.
Yeah, Team Pringles are able to get the res onto Casellos. We'll see if they can buy enough time for him to pull here. He's going to use that med kit first, which is surprisingly enough, and Third Impact going for the peak. Pringles are out. Now we're down to our last 2 squads. Sentinels versus Third Impact. Sentinels do have the cover to work with, and here is the port on out. They go up forward as they are looking to finish this game out. Sentinels with the bubble, gonna get aggressive now. That massive out for Crust here. The bubble fight's gonna go in favor of Sentinels as they've already picked up 2. Now there's just 1 left. Sentinels take game number 3.
Great bubble, great massive play there by Crust. Exactly what Team Sentinels needed to do. Again, Third Impact had a lot of kills there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had the overall point lead. But what an impressive ending to that game. Pringles was involved in that one. You had Sentinels, Third Impact, and it was tough, man. There was a lot of good teams in there. Team Liquid put on a nice little show with Albrily coming out and taking down TSM, but just nice timing and great bubble play by Crust. It was all about that Mastiff coming through and not missing any shots, ripping for around 100 each time that he shot that thing. And Sentinels had a pretty decent first 2 games, Jamerson. So coming through in game number 3, we're going to have a very tight race towards the top.
It's been a fantastic 3 games so far. We still have 5 more to go. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll hit game number 4 here for Series E. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
Welcome back to Series E, guys, as we are getting ready to head into game number 4. 3 games under our belt, 3 separate winners so far. TSM, CLG, and Sentinels, all 3 of them having fantastic games. So let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly where we are as we head into game number 4.
Going to be extremely excited to see it. Sentinels, I knew it. They were poking around in there, and they've now taken over that number 1 spot. Third Impact, we talked about how phenomenal their game was with a lot of kills, but not putting up the dub and not having a strong first 2 games. Team Liquid coming in with 29 points, so this top 5 looking pretty stacked with our teams under orgs, but it's Team Pringles, Team Pop Tarts, and Team Razor in the race right now for our partners teams. Applejack's not too far behind, but look out. You still have Team Intel, the sleeper team coming through there. Team Rockstar, we know that they're able to drop 35 points at any given point in time with a big game, so we'll see. Tough lobby, a stacked lobby, and Series E is insane when it comes to these teams and these gameplays.
It really is, and honestly, TSM just barely eking out an extra 1 point to separate them from CLG. Remember, heading into game number 3, TSM were leading by 1 point. All right, here we go. We're heading into game number 4, as I believe we're going to be on board once again with Team Rockstar, who in game number 3 had a difficult time trying to get out of Lava City there, Tom.
Yeah, that was almost the entire game. Poor guys. I think they got contested, had to 50-50 it. They were getting gate kept over towards the dome side. I think there was 2 teams over there. Surprised there wasn't a team in the tunnel even pushing them away. So maybe they're going to rotate towards the right side, take the balloon like they normally do, go over towards Geyser. You couldn't go Geyser that way because of the fact that it was over on the opposite side. But I'm thinking maybe up the rope, all the way across the bridge, and maybe a sorting rotation would prove them pretty useful.
Yeah, so we'll see exactly how they want to handle this. I mean, the difficulty is, of course, not knowing if you're going to get contested early on in this game, but at this point, you do have to realize that you have to stick around as a full 3-man on board with Team Rockstar down here at Lava City, which is why we're seeing a bit more of a conservative drop because they are contested.
1000% they're contested because you can see all 3 players dropped towards the same side, and it's going to be cooler continuing to 50-50 these guys. Nasky gets the drop right there onto Rakinishu, which means that they're going to at least have an armor swap onto Rakinishu's body, which is tough. Now you're just going to have to dip out. There's no way you could take this 2 versus 3. You have a blue armor towards the top side, but what a ridiculous drop coming in from Cooler. They contest Rakinishu's building. They don't even go over here towards where you have a solid, decent amount of loot, and now maybe just 3-man drop onto that. So the fact that Rakinishu had a blue armor and is coughing that up is going to be tough for these guys to take this fight, but it looks like they're going to try to defend his body. I mean, one Sentinel shot could change the entire flow of this one, and if Pickett doesn't hit it, it's going to be good night, Team Rockstar.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sentinel and a Re-45. Not exactly what you want in a 2v3, but there's a 2v3 on the other side of the map as well, as Team Cheez-Its was able to get a knock-on to third impact Ziki. And so we're seeing that fight continue on the drop as well. So a lot of action going on right now, but it's all about Rockstar trying to hold it down here. You got to be careful pushing as a full 3-man through one angle. You have to try and at least get a flank or something right now. But instead, a lot of damage done by Team Rockstar will force back Cooler for now, as Crummy tries to set up another angle, will take another level on up. And he's checking the outside, but Matt Pickett is by himself. Dell is able to get up there, takes him out. Now it's a 1v3. Crummy with the R301 will chase after this. Gibraltar get the knock, but now he's under some trouble himself. But oh no, 2 of them running right into the Watson traps. Crummy tries his best, but it's not going to be enough. Cooler will take the fight this time.
Yeah, and Serdell had great armor there. Nasky had great armor, and all Nasky was doing was trying to sacrifice his life in order to try to get the 50-50 right there. So heads up play coming in for Cooler, and that's tough for Team Rockstar, man. Getting your spot contested when these guys typically go over towards where TSM is extremely difficult. It's hard to get your footing, but we take a look at Team Razor and what they have in store, and it's always going to be good loot over towards this trial side. Unfortunately, not the best guns here, not the best scout scope for what you have on Team Zero Tricky side, but excuse me, on Team Razor side, on Zero Tricky side, but Rice Krispies being taken out early by Rogue, and now we look at where this zone is, and it's not surprising that that's why there's action over here. They're directly in the center.
Yeah, they have to back away. Rogue was able to come down, rotate right onto them, and Stunny doesn't have a port to get his buddies out. And so he's just going to have to leave them for now, but oh boy, there's an entire another squad ahead of him, as it looks like Team Cheez-It continuing their fight up against Third Impact as well on the northeast side of the map. A lot of action going down here in the early game.
They're most likely still looting these bodies. They just got done, you saw on the player outlines here, but there's nowhere to hide if you're Stunny. You could see him trying to find something. Maybe one of his teammates know a spot that he could go, but he's not going to be able to get the res off. He's not going to be able to get those banners, but it's going to be Team Razor getting pushed. I wonder if this is going to be NRG like we saw in the first game.
Yeah, we saw NRG going down to Team Razor in game number 1. This time around, Team Razor, they're still alive here, but they weren't able to get Mr. Hakulo's armor up. They only have the purple and the gold on Mercy only. He's going to pop that ultimate Excel for now to try and get down another ultimate here. They have to be careful. They're slowly getting pinched from either side. There's a big crack coming out from Mr. Hakulo, but he's gone down low, and he's the first one to go down in this fight. It's Nathan with a massive here as Zero Tricky tries to hold this angle for now, but the big boy will fall. It's all up to Mercy only here. We'll see if he can clutch this one out. No, NRG will take this team fight win.
Clean fight. They got aggressive, and it was Nathan coming through with the aggression, with the flank over towards the right side. Nobody added pressure. You did have a white armor on the side of Team Razor, which is tough because whenever you're going against a really solid team like that, armors do matter in these small skirmishes. So Energy realizing that, they take advantage, get pressure. Applejack's going to take out Tempest from Team Intel, and they're going to be able to get that loot for free as we do take a look again at this zone. And a lot of teams going to start making the rotations over here, but a lot of teams are safe. And You can see what Applejacks is favoring. This is the God building if it is going to pull over towards the Lava Fisher side. If it does end here, it's going to be directly in front of them on this high ground. And when you have a Watson crypto combination, this is a deadly building to hold.
And looks like 303 getting involved in that one fight that was taking place earlier. But, oh, Applejacks, they've got to be careful. Does Klain, he does have the entirety of this platform just trapped up for his squad. They're going to armor swap now so he can continue to put the traps down for his team. It's very important to control as much area as you can here on the side of Lava Fissure.
Yeah, these are just to show presence. They're not really to keep teams out. It's kind of just saying, hey, this entire building is taken. We have a Watson. We're showing presence here. Please don't come over here and grief us because we want to get top 5 here, if not win the game. So we'll see what happens with Na'Vi as Na'Vi is making their rotation. They're kind of stuck in the middle open here over towards the train side. But having that charge rifle is nice when you're trying to poke the players out of the train cart.
And Claws is 230 damage away as well from having that evolve. They're going to go ahead and drop down that generator to Natty heal this one up. Ooh, he's getting closer and closer. Decent connect with that charge rifle as he's got plenty of damage to work with. It's Team Nestle Pure Life that are playing on top of these cars.
Yeah, Ronnie playing Legend Roulette over here as this is the second or third Legend that he's played now in these games. He's switching on over from Wraith over to Watson now, on over to Gibraltar. And yes, while it is nice to try to find your play style, it's tough to do it during the tournament and on the fly. I feel like they were playing fine with Ronnie on that Wraith, but maybe they have a little bit of different intel. Maybe they're trying to try something that more fits their play style. But I do like the armor. I do like the setup here. But the way that you saw Team Applejack setting up Jamerson, it makes me think it's not pulling train and most likely going to pull over here towards that lava side.
Yeah, we should be able to get that info. No beacon anywhere near Nestle Pure Life, so another team might be able to pull that up for us. So we'll see if we get that in just a moment. Dracos, I'm surprised that Ronnie's not actually swapping armors with like Dracos or something. He's the one who's got that triple take, trying to get that damage across, and it's the blue that needs to be evolved, Tom.
Yeah, I think that you should probably coach these guys, Jamerson. I think that's a very smart play as Dracos is going to get ripped for a decent amount of his armor. And we take a look at what's going on with Team Liquid and Mac. Fantastic Kraber play coming in from Mac, and also a really good combination here for a Wraith to have Wingman R301.
Might be something good this way.
And you see what they're favoring. They're favoring over towards the Lava Fisher side as well. Ping's going down. Not pulling over towards NPL side, but still in a decent position to try to get some kills, especially with this triple take, as you were mentioning. Probably should swap the armors, but NRG, they wiped Team Razor earlier. They're going to have good loot, and now they're finding themselves in another skirmish here. Defensive bombardment going to be used, and Frex with a solid Hemlock Massive combination. Perfect for a Watson as he's going to sit back and lay down cover fire.
It's surprising. They had the option to go for the gold armor, right? I believe there was one on Team Razor, but they decided to stick with the Evo shields instead, unless they had to change up in the moment. Right now, Frex holding the high ground for his squad, getting great damage off with that Hemlock now, as the rest are trying to push up. Almost got the crack onto that red Evo. Nathan and Rocker taking the slow elevator on up to try and push this. Oh, if you're Frex, you're just screaming, they're one, but there's no follow-up quite yet. Rocker is not going to be able to get up, as Nathan is going to try and queue on into them. And Rocker will, I believe, use the defensive bombardment, throwing it down on top of them right now. Nathan has the angle, but it looks like his squad just not able to punish quite yet. Rocker is not going to be able to push up yet. There it is. Nathan now going in with that port. They're going to try and punish the squad as they do have that one knock. And now here they go. In front of them is Nathan. He's up on the high ground. Almost gets a knock. It's going to be Frex to pick that one up. And that's Rogue going down.
Nice shots there by NRG. I think someone is in the vicinity, though. No, it's a different fight. It's going to be Cooler taking on Sentinels on the bottom of this train yard. Not sure what happened when Nestle Pure Life throughout all this. This would have been a perfect third party for these guys to get involved in, but there's the SAR detected. You do have one player down right now. Sentinels did get the kill. I think that was Crust getting the finish onto Sir Del right there. Do you have the respawn coming through? But there's the res. They get aggressive. Nice bubble coming through. I love how the player that was weak decides he's going to back off and heal, and they completely mop that fight. Great job by Sentinels. Heads up play. They also had the gold backpack, so a little bit of a bait there from Sentinels and Retzi.
Yeah, and this is a squad that wants to fight on the edges. Cooler with the slow rotation because of that 3v3 they had to take on their drop, and also this is just one of the furthest rings for them. Cheese it. We're able to win out that fight, I believe, up against Third Impact, and so they've should have 3 kill points under their belts right now. They're on the southern side of the map, and we do see the zone closing in, but I don't really see any players in front of them.
No, this is the right play. You have to watch your back. You can't continue to push in once you're on the edge and get sandwiched in between multiple teams. So they're just going to pray that someone is a solo or maybe even a team is weak and starting to come in here, but nothing showing. Nobody on this side of the map. Most people have already picked their spot and rotated in. So that means Nades is going to check the banners, realize nobody's around, and that should call for them to start finding their next spot that they're going to make their way towards. But looking at what TSM's doing, they're sitting in heavily favoring over towards this lava side, and these lava zones are a lot of fun to watch. If it does pull over here, typically it goes to where I think Team Applejacks is. So if we could cycle over there and find out what those guys are doing, that would be cool. But some nice shots there from Reps. And there it is. Team Applejacks continues to be in the zone here. You see where they think this one's going to pull. I still think it could pull over towards them, but they're in a great spot right now.
Yeah, controlling that side would be really great because of the rotations that you're afforded. You don't have to deal with quite possibly falling into the lava or anything at this point. EMP will come out, but Lion does go down. Luckily for them, they do have that port covered with traps along with that Watson generator as well, so they should safely be able to get Lion back up. CLG in a lot of trouble though, as it looks like Third Impact are coming in as well. There's an opportunity for Applejacks to possibly get involved in this fight for now, but it looks like things will slow down as teams not fully committing onto this fight. Oh no, Imperial Hell, he's gotten involved. TSM, they picked up 2.
Yeah, and they're going to finish the rest of that fight off. CLG is going to drop. Great aggressive portal coming in from TSM. It's one of the specialties about Hal is he knows exactly when to put these portals down, where to put them, and how to fight in these small little skirmishes. As Cheez-It is going to take the high ground over here and try to find out exactly who is below them. Great setup here. Charge rifle with the 3x Prowler in hand too. But so much real estate to make up, Jamerson. They almost have to get in front of these teams, but if they do that, they don't watch their back, so they're laying pings down behind them and focusing this team. This is the fight they're going to have to take.
165 tries to lurk, but with that scan coming out, he's going to pop that Q to get back to his team. And so things do slow down just for now. There's 10 seconds left before the zone starts closing, and Cheez-Its are going to try their best to gatekeep this team, but it looks like, ooh, a nice connect with the nade. And now he's going to try and posture forward along with a maze, but looks like they were a little bit too slow. Can't punish that one yet, as a team is just completely out of there.
Yeah, and this is the strength of Caustic. You just set up a line of barrels here and push these guys off, similar to what a Watson would do. And that nade, the shots, the Caustic barrels are exactly what Team Cheez-It needed to go and establish dominance on this real estate towards the high ground, where we saw CLG win a game from up here earlier, different zone, but this zone definitely going over towards where TSM is, towards where Team Applejacks is. So let's make sure we check out what's going over on that side, because there was a ton of action, but Nestle Pure Life stuck. E-Boy Ronnie sitting over here without a Watson inside of the blue trailer is a very dangerous situation. Grenades could come in from all over the place. That's exactly what's happening. Late bubble coming in. Now the heels, if that's a good team, they're going to charge and infiltrate this area. We'll see what E-Boy Ronnie's going to be able to do with this triple take.
Looks like he was just getting hit up through the windows there. There are the nades out, and he's just going to go ahead and take it. It's Sentinels coming in. It's a 1-for-1 exchange as Bambino is able to find one, but he trades his life for it. Now it's all to Dracos. He pulls out the wingman, but his armor is cracked. He doesn't have a swap inside here, and it's just the sharks circling around, and they will be able to take him out. Sentinels, will they get punished on this? Oh no, it's TSM who are in a bit of a bother as they get knocked. NRG, they have lost Nathan so far. We'll see if they can recover him. For now, they don't have the Gibraltar fast res quite yet, but with the defensive bombardment, that will buy them time to get Nathan right back up. Here is a nade, another nade getting tossed in, but Rocker does a good job of body blocking that for his team.
Yeah, great job there. by Rocker, and you can see the difference between someone that's comfortable playing on Gibraltar and someone that's not comfortable. Ronnie needs to switch off Gibraltar and go back to Wraith, because I'm not sure what they're doing right there. You can just tell that he's, from an experienced Gibraltar player, he's not moving around as a Gibraltar should. So I'd really like to see them go back to what they were doing, because I thought it was working just fine. Cheese It, though, finding themselves in a nice little skirmish here. Navi getting into one with Team Pringles as well. Knocks on both sides over here. These are the teams on the edge with 35 seconds left as Navi does put a finish to Team Pringles. Cheez It finds a couple of knocks, but it's going to be nades going down first. Now Strictly has to hit a couple cells. No batteries is tough. And some shots coming in from across the map. I love the way Amaze is trying to play this one, but that Watson generator is annoying. So he full clips that one and possibly going in for a res on nades.
Yeah, he does have to buy time, though, as he's trying to use that Phoenix kit. It looks like he will have enough time to get it off. The nades are coming in from the other side, but no follow-up quite yet, as they're looking to try and re-peek the corner. Naze is still trying to crawl to safety here, but with the coverage from that Caustic, they should be able to safely do this for now. We'll see. The port is up for Strictly to get them out, and they need to, as the zone is closing here. Strictly running out in the open, but it looks like they'll be able to get out. Unfortunately, not for nades. As the port does go down. I may as well go ahead and use the geyser to get out of here, though. But Liquid are on top of the high ground here, trying to gatekeep them.
Yeah, and it looks like Strictly is going to do the same thing. Amaze, desperate situation here as he's going to have to pop a Phoenix kit. The team on the high ground is so deadly, and trying to blend in over here. Hopefully the EMP distracts him. Maybe that round sign is blocking where he's at too, and if I can't see them, they can't see me. That's the rule, right? And you do have an armor swap sitting right there, but it's never good to sit where your teammate just died, and if you drop down, you're a little bit more safe there. You have to get some loot too, so tough spot to be in right there as we take a look at what's going on in NRG's world, and this is going to pull hard into the open on this lava side.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a moment until we get some good visual. There it is. Okay, there it is. Applejacks has control over this, and that's why it was so important to control the western side of this ring. The fact that they're able to just walk this one in. The other teams, they're gonna have to walk over or jump over chasms and move over lava and everything. It's gonna be so difficult, but Applejacks have set themselves up in a great position. They'll have the EMP to work with. They've got the Watson generator set up in a very safe position as well. This is a fantastic spot for them.
Kenny, get in your drone, look around, fly around, see what's around you. It's your opportunity to basically call out where all the rest of the teams are and see where they're going to rotate from. They do have the vision over towards that side. He's going to lay that EMP right on top of them just in case they get charged, so I get the idea, but man, I'd love to see if he could just get a little bit information for the rest of his squad mates. But I love line shots. I like the early rotation. They pick the God spot, predict the zone perfectly, which is not easy to do that early into the game. So we'll see what happens as Team Applejacks has been in the dominant position for quite some time. The tough spot about that is they haven't been able to find some kills, and Lion's going to dip out and just play the zone.
EMP is going to come out here, which will slow down the team that was trying to push up from the eastern side. As we do have some fighting going on. LG getting the knock onto NRG's Rocker. It's traded on back, and that means Applejacks should be able to finish this one off. It's now down to 2 squads remaining, and there it is. The squad just stuck on the low ground, and I wish you had a Pathfinder in that situation.
They literally don't have to do anything. They just have to make sure a team doesn't climb up right here. That's exactly what Albrelli's doing. They charge up there. Lion gets clapped immediately. The team from the low ground bringing it to them. Applejacks, Applejacks, Applejacks. Don't put the milk in before the cereal. The cereal goes first, guys. Come on. Team Liquid and Mac doing it big.
Oh, man. Albrelli just climbing on up, hitting those wingman shots. That was massive. Oh, that's just ultimate caster's curse right there at the end. I shouldn't have said anything at all. Applejacks could have had the win, but it is Team Liquid plus Mac taking game number 4.
Doesn't get more free than that if you're Team Applejacks. You have everything in front of you. They could have even picked off tons of kills. It was just, in my opinion, misplay with the crypto, misplay with everybody spreading out, and also just not enough confidence, man. I get that we have the player outlines, we're able to see everything unfold, but it's really up to Lion to come through as that Wraith and start looking around the map, find out exactly what's going on, and give his team confidence so they can just start adding pressure. You can't let people just clamor up for free and completely wipe you. Yeah, it was a great EMP from Team Liquid, but that just means that the EMP earlier for Team Applejacks just didn't make any sense. So a great job by Team Liquid, and they're really showing their experience. They've been a team for over a year now compared to Team Applejacks, which has only been a team for about a month and a half now. So lesson learned, move on to the next game, but impressive games from our organizations in these first 4.
Yeah, that's what Series E is for, to level up your game. But to level up your game at home, we got a word from our sponsors. We're hitting halftime. We're going to take a short 10-minute break, but when we get back, it's the second half of Series E Day 2. We'll be right back.
It's Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Eat your cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. It's Jumbo. It's your snack hit. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E presented by Esports Arena. We have hit the halfway mark, and now we got 4 more games to go for the rest of the evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard, Tom, to see exactly where our teams are. It's Team Sentinels in first place now with 54 points.
Yeah, but geez, Team Liquid caught up, sitting at 47 there, and Third Impact, Luminosity, Navi now, so it's all the organizations come through. Team Applejacks, Pringles, and Pop-Tarts are the hope right now with Team Razor for the partner teams. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it. I was really rooting for Lion and Team Applejacks last game and was hoping they were going to be able to pull it out from that God spot, but what an EMP from Team Liquid, and what a push and shots from Albrulili. He's really been on fire the last couple games.
Yeah, the last couple of games, just before we ended the break, we got to see the game 3 kind of highlights there, where he was able to come in, get the third party on TSM, getting the double kill with the Kraber. He's been absolutely popping off today for Team Liquid. And so that puts them at second place, 7 points below Team Sentinels. Now, the big question, of course, coming into the next half is, will Sentinels be able to continue with the pace that they've been setting for themselves at this point? Taking a dub was definitely a nice change of pace for them for now, as it looks like we are getting ready to head into game number 5. We did see some contests going on over here at Harvester. We'll see if that continues here in the second half.
Yeah, the bummy thing about Harvester is I don't think there's ever been a beacon over at Harvester, So when you're rocking this crypto or whatever it is, because it's so central, I feel like that's kind of the change that they made. They don't want to give Harvester that big of an advantage, but taking a look at Team Applejacks and what kind of loot they're going to be able to get and to see if they're contested, looks like Third Impact contested Team Cheez-Its off the rip. Another blue armor down there. Kenny's going to ping that one for one of his boys, but looks like this should be free. If it wasn't free, they would have been a little bit more tight-knit, all over towards the high ground, making sure that they stick together. So Harvester's free here for Team Applejacks, and we'll see if they can bounce back and win a game after that close second place.
Yeah, before the Harvester change, before Harvester was introduced onto this map, this used to be TSM's drop. Depot, Fuel Depot, had that beacon that you were talking about in center map. Oh boy, this time around, Strictly, I don't know if he's going to be able to do this one. He's already got the knock-ons at Ballon G, but he's got no HP left. He will go down. Ballon G will get res right back up into this. So I think it's 2-1 now in favor of Third Impact here on the 50-50.
Pretty sure Jazaz had 0.5 HP. I mean, I've seen 1 HP before, but I don't think I've seen 0.5. That was as low of health as you could possibly get. So nice job by Third Impact, and that just goes to show it's not easy to do what Jazaz did. As you take a look at what's going on with Cooler, we know who's on the opposite side of this. It's what I just drank. It's Team Rockstar over here battling it out. Yuki gonna have to pop that Q. You could tell they haven't looted that much because he only has 2 cells.
Why are Cooler doing this to Team Rockstar? They know that in EU they're not going to get contested off of Frag East, but it looks like they don't want to go throwing
Coolers and Rockstar kind of go hand in hand, so it makes sense, Chambers.
True. Rakanishi, though, does have that purple armor. We'll go ahead and back off as he's getting chased down now. He's going to back all the way up. He has that triple take, connects for a 48 onto that blue, and this allows him to reconnect with the rest of his squad. Matt Pickett on the roof for his team. Now we'll set down the Watson traps on the elevator shaft for his team.
It's like a game inside of a game here.
Yeah. It's going to be a while before this fight, I think, ends just because of the positions now. It's going to be difficult for Cooler to try and push onto the high ground.
Whoever is at Dome is just taking a big nap right now, probably snoozing like me on a Sunday here. And that's a nice 129 from Rakanishu. They're definitely going to send it here. This is not one of the teams I would mess with. I'm not sure what Cooler's doing, but I'm not surprised that Rockstar's sending on this one. Great job by Rakanishu infiltrating the door, but it's going to be Serdell with the knock right there onto Pickett.
Oh no, Pickett has gone down, but Crummy is there to trade it right on back. Nasky gives his life for that and trying to go for that thirst. It's going to be the Mastiff out here for Crummy. He's on the chase, hits the 45, and Team Rockstar take the win. No!
You're wasting all your ammo. Crummy, use your other gun to waste the ammo, bro. That gold devotion is way too precious. I don't even think they were in their death screen yet to see you shooting their body, but either way, Team Rockstar taking the advantage there, and why wouldn't they? I mean, gold devotion, better armors, more experience probably landing here. This is one of the teams, again, that I would not even mess with. There's, you know, maybe a couple other spots to land, but Lava City going up against Team Rockstar is tough. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to do that, but it's tough as we look at a south circle. Yesterday it was north circles. Today it's the south ones. Launch site is already got like 7 to 8 teams inside of it. Great setups early by a lot of these teams.
Yeah, we saw a knock as well from Sentinels. Don't know if they rotated down from sorting to go over to tree, or if it was just every team going over to launch right now, and that's where the fighting's taking place. We'll find out in just a moment here. On board with Applejacks as they were redistributing their loots here. They do have the port. It looked like they tried to get out of the high ground. They were pushed, and we see that happening quite often here over at launch, that, you know, a lot of fights are going to take place, and you don't want to be party to the third and fourth and fifth parties. And so I like that Applejacks are just going to go ahead and back away and go to the other side of this ring.
We'll see if they try to push over towards this high ground, and I love that wingman skin that Klane's got, but he's going to need to lay down a couple of shots because white armor, this point in the game, on a Watson, you're basically a sitting duck in the open. There's no cover in front of you, so a play has to be made, and pings are going down. They're just not in the zone. It almost may be worth it for Lion to go up here and try to see what type of pressure in team is above you, because TSM, they're making their way through, and now teams are going to start fighting, and you're going to be caught off guard. Very similar situation, Applejacks and TSM. They're both a little bit late to rotate. Again, a lot of teams are already in God spots. Casellas gets a knock right there onto Albrulelli with, I think that was the Hemlock. So interesting turn of events there for Team Liquid, who won the previous game. But there's the fight. There's the infiltration into the building. Lion wasn't expecting all players to have big armors, gold armor everywhere. Only whites on Klane. So much damage on a Team Applejacks. There's the infiltration from 303. Tough break here for Team Applejacks, taking so much damage.
TSM were also on the lurk, and now they are making their move for the third party as well. They're getting involved in this fight now. Applejacks, they're going to have to cut their losses now. It's just Lion up. And Zipe down. We'll be able to pick off one from 303. They get that thirst, and this building is going to be all theirs. Expert timing coming out from TSM to take advantage.
Yeah, expert timing, but also that's just what happens when you're starting to rotate in and other teams don't make their play early enough, right? It could have been possibly a win for Team Applejacks. It could have been possibly a win for 303. But instead, the indecisiveness means that TSM comes through and gets gifted a couple of kills and a powerful position to boot. And now Snipe Down looking in front of him has Na'Vi. Just free points, free kills everywhere. Scan coming in, and should be a free knock on that player, but that Wraith dips out extremely fast. Hell's going to get the finish, and a nice job by whoever that was on Na'Vi to make sure they live to see another day, because TSM and Snipe Down hot on the trail.
Enemy spotted.
Yeah, they've got the full south side control. They don't need to worry at all. They see him bouncing around. They'll eventually pick up this KP. Now it's going to be all TSM to pick up that loot whenever they want to. And what a great spot to be in. We see that second ring. We'll see if they can actually pick up the beacon as well, as there is one nearby. Team Rockstar again, just slowly creeping their way into the zone, and it looks like they might actually pick up the remnants of Team Na'Vi here in the backside. The port, excuse me, the Q was used by that Wraith. Multiple squads here in the area.
Rakanishu needs to get up top where Crummy is and use his grenade that he has. Tons of ammo here for Crummy. Doesn't matter that he wasted a couple shots on that box earlier, as it's going to be Bird and Rice Krispies getting the knock onto Team Intel. Stunny starts that one. Madness gets a knock there onto Crummy too. So a lot of fighting going down. Fast-paced game here as we move into game number 5 on the second half of Series Z. The first couple games fairly slow. Everyone kind of playing methodical here, but Team Rockstar, man, they took so much damage. And now that Gen's gone, it's going to be tough for Crummy and company to get out of here.
Luckily, Rakanishu was able to get down that defensive bombardment before he was knocked, but he's given his life for it. It's all up to Crummy here, as he's just stuck on the edge. Doesn't look like they're pushing quite yet, but there it is, turning the corner just as he gets the res. Crummy Now, against that white armor, he was never able to heal up his health as well. It's Pow coming in. But with the help of TSM, they're going to survive.
Crummy doing the best job he can, but 2 players, it's going to be Vaxon coming in with the cleanup there. 2 players from CLG really putting it together there and helping Pow out. Nice job there by Team Rockstar, living as long as possible, but you're between too many teams. A lot of snipers in this meta, and a lot of aggression over towards this Lava City side. They are getting contested and they're getting gate kept. So again, they're gonna have to start making these rotations over here to like what Team Razor is doing. Like I said, up the balloon, past the bridge, and coming right side. It's obvious that they can't go left side.
Yeah, there's a team on top of the building and a team coming out from behind them. Zeratricky's already used the defensive bombardment as well just before this, so they're not going to have that as a tool to disengage. He does have the bubble to put down, but that's just a defensive bubble to heal up, as now they are getting pushed. We do see Mr. Hakulo dropping down into the low ground, and it looks like they might have made their escape. It was Team Third Impact coming in, but they will be able to safely back away off of this one.
Looks like Farmer Lucas is going to get a knock there, and Stunny's going to get the finish. So players from LG being depleted. Now we look at Team Razor and their uphill battle that they have to face. Hakulo starting it off with some fantastic shots, going to force these players to back off and heal. They did have gold too, but we're looking over at Third Impact in the top right, possibly in a third-party position as E-Boy Ronnie has switched again. Now they're not even busting out a Wraith here. It's going to be Crypto, Bloodhound, and Gibraltar. No one's ever seen this team composition before. Why? Because it's actually not that good. So we'll see what Nestle Pure Life is going to be able to do.
Yeah, they do have them trapped on the low ground, but they don't have the same engage tools without that Wraith. They are just going to go ahead and follow this ridgeline for now, but Dracos takes massive damage along with Ronnie. From another squad, it's Na'Vi from across the valley, and they're dropping to the low to rejoin with Bambino, but Dracos gets taken out. Bambino is playing inside of that container. He does have the fast res. We'll see if he has the gold backpack. No, he does not. Dracos is just going to get knocked again.
Yeah, Nestle Pure Life, they need to drink some Revive right now, maybe some Active. I'm not quite sure what's going to get these guys' brains going. They need their magnesium. There's 35% just in one bottle, guys. Get your brains working over here and get the heck off Crypto, Ronnie, and get onto Wraith where you belong. But in no man's land over here, NPL most likely going to drop. Dracos just is going to take way too much zone damage. The only thing keeping them alive right now is this gold armor, which helps with the healing, not only on the armor, but with the double health on the syringes too.
Yeah, they were trying to go for the armor swap and the heal, but it looks like Draco's just okay, he's gonna heal. Two squads actually fighting it out in Sorting Factory right now, so there is a chance for them to try and get back into this. Team Razor are in shambles right now, as it looks like Mercy had to swap off onto a fresh white armor there. Zeratricky is gone. They haven't recovered his banner yet either. I don't know if they'll have an opportunity to do so. Mr. Hakulo hasn't even been able to heal up his shields yet, but it looks like they are at least able to reconnect. As we swap on over to Team Rice Krispies on the west side of the ring right now, they've lost Stunny. That's unfortunate to lose their Wraith player. LG are on the hunt for them.
Curious how that even happened, because they had a numbers advantage. Rice Krispies knocked a player, I think it was Ronnie, earlier. They had a 2 versus 3. Maybe Ronnie got rezzed, but it was a full finish, so I don't know how that even happened. Third Impact coming through, laying the damage onto Dracos. Bambino gonna have to rat this one out with the gold armor still. Third Impact with an impressive performance already. They're already sitting in our top 5, top 7. Not quite sure exactly where they land, but it's been a tough go for E-Boy Ronnie, Dracos, Bambino on Nestle Pure Life over here. They are now in desperate times, desperate measures. Geyser across the map, solo, pushing into multiple squads.
Yeah, NRG though here controlling the western choke right now, but the EMP is going to slow them down. Rice Krispies, looks like they were able to make it into the building. They've got the traps up and the caustic gas out, and so they'll be able to recover here. Gold armors on both our big boys, the fortified ones, the caustic and the Gibraltar, and so they're quite tanky here. It looks like Bambino will finally get finished off by Third Impact. So good effort, good effort. Maybe if it was Ronnie on that Wraith, they could have gotten more placement points.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but it's Bird and Sung now trying to stay alive against, I don't know how many members of LG are over here. I can't tell if they got Ronnie back or if it's still a 2 versus 2 on that side of the map. But NRG, they're getting busy over here with the fences. Freck setting up, Nathan hitting a couple of cells, and Rocker just trying to figure out how he can support with this 3x Hemlock. There's the shots that he's looking for. Nice little 90 burst right there onto the player on the top left side. Gonna help charge that armor up. Team Pop-Tarts, they've been looking good. Fat Fruit Ninja's been impressive. Farmer Lucas has picked up a lot of damage throughout this time too, but this is a big 3 versus 3. Blighty gonna drop. This is gonna be LG and Rugby opening things up. Finishing coming through as well. Now they're on the back foot, but some great massive shots coming in for Farmer Lucas. Can he finish the job? A little bit too early. I think I jinxed him with the nice shots.
And it's Fat Fruit Ninja just getting the hell out of Dodge. He'll find a corner to heal up, but it's LG taking the dub on that one. We'll see if they can hunt him down now, but gotta imagine being slowed down like that, being gate capped. It's NRG coming in for the third party, and they will be able to clean up LG.
That's how you play it if you're Frex. No fear in this dojo. He pushes in there, realizes he can't set the gen down, he can't heal, he has to help his teammates, especially with that Pathfinder. Ronnie looking over towards the side and not giving him any type of angles on the side of NRG. They just push in, infiltrate the building, wipe LG. Great job by Fat Fruit Ninja though, mixing it up, pushing out of there, getting in a couple extra placement points, and we'll see if he can try to continue to make his way across the map. But he did pick up Farmer Lucas throughout all that, and now NRG's hot on his case.
Yeah, Fat Fruit Ninja will go down as Farmer Lucas finishes popping off this Phoenix Kid, and so looks like it's all up to him now. 30 seconds as the ring will start closing very shortly, and it's going to be a difficult uphill rotation to try and make it into that bunker here. Don't know if he'll be able to do that right now, as things are looking dire for Team Pop-Tarts.
No reason to even go for that banner. Circle's so small as we move in around 4 that there's not going to be an opportunity to hit the res. He's doing the best thing he can right now. Just gather information and go as late as possible. See, the player that went in front of him is a little bit too earlier. That could be another rat that he could pick up a kill and a placement from. So instead, he does get called out. He's going to hit that Q and go into Wraith form, try to figure out exactly how he's going to rotate in, but it's going to be tough. So he busts out the portal, doesn't have the Q, and here comes the zone. So poor Farmer Lucas, that's all she wrote.
By the rat of Mr. Hackhilo for Team Razor. So he's able to pick up 1 extra kill, get them, I believe, into top 9. So that's some additional placement points for them. It's Sentinels holding control over the main bunker here over at launch, as Pringles find themselves on the low ground. They've already used their Gibraltar bubble, as Stink is trying his best to keep the teams to their south at bay. He does have the nade out. So he's buying some precious time for Casellas to heal up. Sentinels right above them. So this is such a dangerous spot for them to be in right now.
Sentinels looks like they're interested in clearing these guys out. They're going to drop down and even loot this body right here as he tries to get rid of that Sentinel and picks up the Mastiff, I believe, instead to have the Volt Mastiff combination. Unfortunate for Crust that he's not able to connect with any of those. Only 39 39 shots left. Gonna have to go and try to find something. Maybe his teammates are grabbing it for him, but they do have a far rotation coming through across the map. You can see Snipe Down getting a finish there onto Nocturnal from Team Liquid, which means TSM most likely in a powerful position. We're gonna have to continue to flip through the rest of these teams and find out who exactly is in the God spot, and it is TSM making their way there early.
CLG, though, they are up as a full 3 right now. 27 seconds before the ring starts closing here, and we'll see how much cover they have to work with. Vax is covering the low ground. That's a great thermite connecting, giving them information at the very least. It's not lethal damage, but there it is. Connecting with the wingman shots now. Isn't able to get the knock, but that's going to slow down that team on the rotation as CLG Madness has ported them forward here. They just got to be careful of that high ground push. If any other team comes, Pow sets up a nice cross angle for themselves as well. Now CLG have found themselves safely inside the next zone.
I believe that was Energy that was stuck down there with TSM helping the pinch there from CLG. Unfortunate They weren't able to find that kill on the CLG side since they did a majority of that damage. Like you said, the Thermite giving a lot of information, so he was able to find out exactly where that Gibraltar was hiding. Switches on over that wingman, lays down a couple of really great shots, but a lot of action here as the bubble fights are starting to happen. Team Pringles gets a couple of knocks over here. They do have to avoid this defensive bombardment, which is why Stink's going to go and pop that Q. 100's taking a lot of damage. Casello's going to drop as well. Great 135 there coming in from Hundreds, but he's going to have to use this knockdown shield and hit some cells as he is the last guy alive with only a sliver of health.
Yeah, he does have the natty heals coming out from the generator, but that's Wraith on the other side of this rock, and he will ultimately go down. It's TSM from the high ground here with full control of the map right now. They've got the scans out, sees one. And then, of course, I believe it was on the left as well.
Hal's going to portal
so it's a
here.
full 3-man. I believe that's CLG.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Hal places a portal down so they can go and add some pressure and then make their way right back over towards the top. The thing is they don't know what's going on directly below them, so Hal's not going to risk it. He's going to clear out his back, make sure no rats are in the vicinity, gets a couple of grenades right there too, and now expect them to add some serious pressure here. And this is what's so great about TSM is they're going to show how it's done from the high ground. Right now, if you're CLG, you have to pray that someone on TSM makes a mistake, but this is where they're so disciplined. And when you put yourself in a position like this to win the game, 99% of the time, a team like TSM is going to execute.
And they're having so much trouble actually taking out that rat. They took so much damage, they back up. They've got 8 seconds as TSM now are trying to take advantage of this situation, but it just was not fast enough. Xenox was the final rat left here for Sentinels. There's the first knock onto Madness, and TSM team firing with the best of them. Backslum will go down, and there goes Tau, and that's going to be TSM taking their second W in our series.
And that's how it's done. Great job by Snipe Down, pushing through. Great tracking as well with the Prowler, switching on over to the Mastiff. Every time you switch between one player or another on TSM, they're making a fast play, hitting their shots, all on the same page. I love the bubble, the preemptive bubble coming in from Reps. They found the Wraith player, I think that was Madness from CLG, just a little bit too by themselves as they had to figure out how they were going to make their way over towards the top. Instead of letting CLG make the move, they push, get aggressive, and take the high ground and take the right angle to go and put them to bed.
And we have to, we remember that, you know, TSM, Sentinel, CLG, they were all amongst that top 3, top 4. And so this is going to be massive for TSM to get back in. I believe it was Sentinels and CLG who were up top at the beginning of game number 5, but now the leaderboards could be shaken up. We'll see exactly how many kill points they picked up, but we know that Sentinels were busy as well. So this could be a very close one.
Yeah, and you look at where TSM was. I believe that was the game where 303 and Team Applejacks duked it out for the God spot, and TSM just comes in, not even with an early rotation, fairly late for their timing, and they get gifted the third party. They get gifted the spot, but yes, they had to execute to a T down there. We've seen teams blow the high ground earlier, and that's not what happened here. TSM plays it correctly. They take what's in front of them. Yes, it took a while to go and finish that rat, like you were saying, and maybe that's what cost CLG so much, where they ended up so split. But TSM doesn't care under that circumstances. They're just going to go and play it by the book and go and take it step by step. That's exactly what they did. They cut off all of CLG's angles.
All right, we're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have our next game ahead of us. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is just a word from our sponsors.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Get the balls in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so close for the goal. There's one shot, now the future is yours. Let's go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E. 5 games down, 3 more to go. As we head into game number 6, let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly what's going on. TSM took a big win, and now they are sitting in first place above Sentinels with a 7-point lead.
Really starting to pull away, and this format favors TSM because they're one of the more consistent teams we've ever seen, if not ever, in Apex. So if they're able to get, instead of 6 games or 5 games or 4 games like we typically see, now going the full distance and going 8, this is where they're going to really start to shine. And TSM is going to continue to win multiple games. That's just how they do it. They put themselves in great positions, and it's fun to see them play Gibraltar now with the Bloodhound. I feel like that fits their playstyle even better.
All right, and now this leaderboard is the important one for our Series E partnered squads because we do have relegation. It's a little ways in the future. We got a whole 3-month season before this becomes important, but right now it's Team Pringles and Applejack sitting on top of the leaderboard with Pop-Tarts and Team Razors tied for third place.
And the most surprising thing is right at the bottom, Team Intel, one of our strongest teams, qualifying in week 2 of the qualifiers in Series E by winning. Formerly THT, now sitting at 4 points, which is just not even close to what they're typically representing. Again, this lobby is very tough. We haven't seen exactly where Team Intel is landing, but I'm expecting teams like Intel, Rockstar, and Razer to step it up. These were our 3 strongest performers in the qualifiers. Looking to see what they're going to do again in this second half as we move into, I think it's game 6.
Yeah, I mean, we saw yesterday Team Intel were dropping and sorting, but we've got Sentinels in this lobby, so you're not going to be afforded that option. Don't know exactly where they've been dropping like you had mentioned, but they've got to find something. You know, we know that a lot of EU teams, they do have variable drops. They've practiced a lot in case they do get contested. I think this is something that NA can really pick up on and learn to be flexible on their drops, especially because we have to practice different maps as well. So preparation is the name of the game. We'll see if they can adjust for the long game here. We got 3 more to go as we're getting ready to head into game number 6 very shortly. It's TSM, Sentinels, and CLG in the top 3 right now.
Yeah, and Shiza, I believe, is the team that's going over and getting contested by Third Impact on that refinery survey side. And it's tough for them because that's such a weird spot to have people come in and pressure you, and they're probably not used to that. So I'm wondering, as they watch Third Impact on their death screen, if they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, because I'm seeing them land and not landing directly on buildings, not looting as fast as possible, and that loot in there isn't very good. So the whole point of getting to that spot is getting the loot and getting out towards your rotation as fast as possible. We saw yesterday, again, a lot of circles going over towards the north side. A majority of today have been on the south side, so that's not an easy rotation for these guys either, and we know how many teams are sitting over towards that Skyhook side. So it's been an interesting series of games for our partner teams, but I think they're just playing a little bit nervous right now. This is a much tougher lobby than yesterday, and they're just going to have to adjust and continue to play their best.
I think this is a good setting for them, though, to be contested by Third Impact, because you have other teams like Complexity in North America that would also contest them here. And so being able to get the team fight experience over on this drop, if they want to continue dropping here, would be super important. Here it is, the final fight taking place in game number 5. This is how TSM were able to close it out. You saw a lot of damage coming across on CLG when they were trying to finish off Senox there. It ended up being TSM's reps that got that kill point for them. The first knock onto Madness by Snipe Down. Once he's on top of you with that Prowler, people are going to die.
Just look how perfect that bubble, though, was from Reps. The bubble goes down right when he puts it down. I think that's 12 seconds. Within that time, all 4 players left on the map besides TSM died. They get the kill onto Sentinels, finish them off, puts them in the top 2. Then all of a sudden, everybody from CLG just charges inside the bubble. What does TSM do? They're all there waiting for them with their close range guns. So you can't underestimate the bubble there from Reps. It was a great job by him. And it's not easy when you've been playing Watson your entire career to go and make a heads up Gibraltar play like that. So I love to see that from TSM. And I really feel like this change is going to fix a little bit of their teamwork problems, which was finishing off the skirmishes. When you're as good as TSM, you should be winning fights a lot easier than they were and more frequently. When you switch over to Gibraltar, he really helps with that instance. And Reps, if he's going to play him like that, is going to be tough going forward for the rest of these teams.
Yeah, we saw TSM making that adjustment, I believe, during PGL this weekend, and we were a little bit caught off guard. But again, those players, Snipe Down, Hal, and Reps, they're all just accomplished players. They know how to play these. They've tried some positional changes in the past, TSM has, but you have to imagine that the mechanics are still there. They're just really cracked out players. On board with Nestle Pure Life, who do drop over here by No Name. And we're still surprised by this drop. It's very conservative, but the loot is the biggest factor. It's just, there's not that much to work with.
Also, Dracos needs to hit the beacon immediately. So now it's nice to see Ronnie switching on over and going on to his natural Wraith here. But the first thing you do as a recon player is land on the building with the beacon and you scan it. The fact that he didn't do that is going to be later on the rotations. You don't get the zone circle early enough, or the zone knowledge early enough, excuse me. And now they're going to make their way over towards Overlook again. And Dracos hasn't found an armor in either one of these games. So No Name not treating them nice at all. They don't have any zone information. Team NPL, to me, needs to go back and look at today as a learning experience and figure out what they did wrong. Switching compositions consistently isn't going to work, but if Overlook is free, you might as well just land there. There's no reason to even go No Name.
Yeah, you have the possibility, of course, having the beacon there as well. But like you said, if you have the option to take it, why aren't you actually popping that beacon? It's kind of strange. But this is Series E, right? This is what we wanted to give our competitors, our partner teams, an opportunity for. Room for growth. We have an entire season where they get to compete, of course, against our open signups and our invited teams 2 nights a week, every week for the next 3 months. Again, we do have this fight, or at least this contest, over by West Frag. Team Pop-Tarts and Na'Vi have been fighting over this area.
Yeah, this is deja vu. We've seen this before. 3-man stack over towards this building, the construction side. Again, tough armor situation from one of our partner teams. It's going to be all white armors here for Team Pop-Tarts. And no scan onto a beacon. So we don't know exactly where this one's going to pull. You do see Fragment is inside the zone, so maybe this is going to be a Fragment zone. But you see pings going on over towards more Skyhook side, where we know there's a couple of endings over here. We know that there's that one over towards the choke where the ping is, and it ends right outside of that fence. There's also the ending that's over towards the blue trailer. There's another ending over there that's towards the sniper post. So if they're favoring this side, which it looks like they are, they have to get there nice and early. And when you see another team ballooning in over there, it makes you wonder if that's exactly where this zone's going to be.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's Team Cheez-Its or Third Impact, because, yeah, don't know if we had that entire fight taking place. But right now, Team Pop-Tarts, they're going to use that crypto to scout ahead of them. Very smart here. They'll even be able to pick up that beacon for us. And it looks like, ooh, this is going to be a tough decision to make. While some of Skyhook is in, the vast majority of Hill Valley down here on the south side of the mountain. So you got to make up your mind. Where are you going to risk this 50-50? Ooh.
Yeah, that was a big scan right there. But now we have Cheez-Its on the ropes inside of this train cart. Strictly pops that Q maybe a little bit too early as he's looking for some initial damage with the Volt. Doesn't have a mag on that, which is tough. Got to hit a majority of your shots with this one. But that flank from the Wraith player towards the right is a smart play. He's most likely going to try to get some damage on, and then the rest of his teammates are going to collapse. Once you hit that initial 50, it wouldn't be a bad idea for Strictly to go and try to get this guy out of there, but he's not aware of exactly where the rest of these players are located. So playing this one a little bit safe until he gets the knowledge, and there he goes. He's going to cross with the Q. Love this play coming in from Strictly.
He's going to set up the cross angle for his team. Right now, looks like it might have been Third Impact on the other side, and maybe it was Na'Vi who ended up taking the balloon that we saw earlier on. As Nades takes massive damage, it's going to be Jazaz to take him out with that Volt. And now, oh boy, Cheez-Its once again finding themselves in a 2v3. Amaze hasn't been able to set up the barrels for himself. Strictly does not get the knock. Balon G will take out Amaze. And now Strictly once again left outnumbered with very little ammo left. He's going to try and Q out. Third Impact will take that. No, it's TSM coming in for the third party.
Yeah, TSM's coming in with the swoop over here. No one's expecting TSM to be on this side of the map. I think they're aware of fighting happening between these two teams because they've seen it happening a majority of this time. Defensive bombardment, that's going to be reps because of the fact that Hal's not taking any damage. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Jazaz gets knocked by the scout from Snipe Down. Snipe Down adding a lot of pressure. Hasn't even taken much damage yet. Probably outputting a decent amount, and that's all 3 players down. TSM with a nice third party, picking up where they left off last game.
Yeah, and TSM seeing this ring, seeing it pull so far to the north, didn't want to get involved in the shenanigans in the middle of this ring. So I like that they were rotating this way and getting involved in that fight, picking up the KP, especially because they do need to catch up to Sentinels. And they need to somehow, of course, break away from Team Liquid and CLG. Casellas is just going to go ahead and give up here. And even drops that armor. So they can't get a refresh if they needed it. Team Liquid picking up some much needed points.
Nothing you could do right there. Just a great job by Team Liquid to start off with Albrelli fighting the double knock there. And he's been ridiculous throughout all these games. But I do have to say that I've been fairly impressed with Strictly overall from Team Cheez-It. Definitely feel like he's been one of the more impressive players that we've seen make a name for himself in Series E. But was that what I thought it was? Madness tried to hit the Wraith Q and gets silenced by the Revenant on the side of Rogue. That has to be tilting for Madness. That's the only thing that would have killed him.
What a lurk coming out from Rogue. Oh, CLG. Now they're getting chased down. You can see nades out for Rogue as they are trying to push forward with this Revenant ulti now. They are fully on the hunt. They can completely ape. It doesn't matter. But it looks like they will give up the hunt. And hey, they're going to take the shortcut back to the totem.
Interesting play there. I don't think I've ever seen a death by fence. So nice job by Sweet showing us something new there and fairly interesting. But Lou is not having any part of that. He's like, I want to stay in the Wraith, or not in the Wraith form, excuse me, in the Revenant form. And Rogue coming out and ruining Madness's party as CLG is one of the teams sitting over towards the top. So much Volt ammo here for dropped. It's going to be fun to see what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, they are playing for KP, and I like this composition. It's fun. I don't know how serious of a composition it is. You can't imagine, really. Can you get a barrel on the drone and fly that in?
I don't know, but that would be pretty cheesy. If that's the case, I guarantee that it ends up getting cashed because there's no way.
All right, back on board with Team Liquid that, you know, they just get a free gold cargo bot. Yeah, do we really not have anyone dropping train or taking the split on train? Well, that's going to be a free gold helmet, and looks like Albrelli is ready to summon Exodia there as he's picked up almost every single piece so far. Nocturnal. Playing it a little risky. That was a little bit risky, I would say, with that drone, but looks like they will be able to just scout out the south side, even pick up this beacon. So Team Liquid playing for the late game.
Yeah, and we're starting to see where teams are starting to set up, and looks like Lion and Team Applejack's going to play it back here. I believe Lion was on Wraith before, now switching over to Wassen.
Oh, nades coming in as Klain has to back away off of that one right now. And it's just Kenny up front by himself until they do have the backup come in. It is LG on the other side of this fight. They're trying to set up the crossfire, but Rugby took a lot of damage on that roof. As we've got another fight breaking out as well between NRG and Rogue right now. Rugby, though, with this 3x doing a lot of damage. Here comes the nade. Sanya took a lot of damage, has to back away. He almost gets down, but he will be able to make it behind as Ronnie is here to hold it down for his squad. The Mastiff connecting, hitting the 84 there onto the flesh. It's going to be Rugby to get the knock onto Lion now. It's going to be a 3v1. And we'll see if Kenny can clutch this one out, but everything looks so bad. He will be able to get the knock onto Ronnie, bringing this down into a 1v2. The Rugby is full health. Now it's a 1v1. Kenny, will he actually do it? No. The Mastiff is there. Rugby finishes him off, but now LG are in a tight spot. It doesn't look like Rugby will be able to get his team out as the third party is here.
It's Team Liquid coming in. That fight just took way too long. They're even going to hit an EMP throughout all that just to slow him down. Another team coming over from the right side. Rugby is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's just going to try to hide in this corner here. Well, guess what? There's a drone right next to you, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to see you, if not scan you immediately. And there it is. Doesn't even see him. Alp really so focused on what's in front of him. There's no way that all these players are walking by. Right now, is he still in the corner? He is. They haven't seen him yet.
See, their vision is based on movement, and he is not moved an inch.
T-Rex.
He's still alive.
Absolutely insane that he was able to live there, especially the fact that there's a drone sitting directly in the corner taking a look at a team that lands over towards the trial side and hasn't really left yet. Vaxlon, as he finds a knock onto 303, that's going to be Team Razor with the high ground, which is a very dominant spot because you're able to just bully everybody up here. You can always charge up your armors, and with this charge rifle, you're going to have a decent amount of pick potential too if you're Zero Tricky.
Yeah, a lot of sniper ammo for them, and what a great spot to be in right now. We'll see if they can get a Watson trap across the ways to try and cut off the zip line there. It's TSM that's below them.
I feel like if TSM's here, they're going to have a hunch that it's ending out here. So Team Razor and TSM, if the zone is coming over towards Trials, would be in the best position by far. We'll see what happens with Hal, though, because he's the shot caller. He's also calling where these circles are going to end. So if Hal decides he's going to move here as this next zone rotates, then we'll know exactly where this one will go. But Sung and Rice Krispie Treats over here. And a little bit of a scuffle, nothing too major. Just some pings going down and trying to figure out if they are going to actually take this fight or not. Maybe some initial damage will change their mind, or another team that looks like they're going to third party will back them off. But it looks like Nasky finds a knock right there onto Senox. Sentinels is one of our top teams.
Yeah, I believe that's Rogue ahead of Rice Krispies right now. We're already down to 13 squads, by the way, with 35 players remaining here in the mid game. A lot of action taking place here, and that's honestly been the story of the evening.
It has been, and it's been weird because I thought yesterday we had a little bit slower paced games, but as we go towards the tail end, as we make our way towards halftime, teams are really going to, again, start to add a lot more pressure than they typically do. They realize that they need a lot of points, but this is why we saw tons of fights happening over here where Team Applejacks was, as Mac from Team Liquid is going to be knocked, and they're holding that spot that Liquid was at. I wonder if LG has lived throughout all this in that same corner. Maybe it's an invisible corner, and he feels like it's his lucky corner, so we'll see what happens. But Sentinels locking down this building is tough. You do have the bubble up, so maybe Crust can get this bubble res. Nice job coming through, hitting that one instantly.
Yeah, they do have Team Liquid to their north right now, as it looks like they were able to get Alb back on up. They're going to try and drop that Watson generator as well. Arbalele will be able to full heal back into this one right now as things do settle down for a moment. 30 seconds until the ring closes. Senox getting some decent damage off with that triple take, trying to take off his head. 72, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it. There's just so many teams in the area right now.
Yeah, I love that little crouch peek shot coming in from Sentinels through the window. Very nicely done, but it's a tough spot to be in because you don't have the Watson, so you're a little bit paranoid, and that's why you're seeing the movement from Retzi, never staying over towards the top where his teammates are, trying to lay down pings, trying to figure out exactly where players are coming from. And this is how you should play Wraith. You should play aggressive, you should play out in front, and you need to create opportunities for your team, exactly what Sentinels is doing. Looking at what Intel is doing, you know, they're sitting over towards the bottom of the leaderboard. Not where we're expecting them to be. We'll see what Tempest is going to do with this Bloodhound.
Yeah, scan answered for a scan. This team is just stuck on the other side right now. Team getting some decent damage off. Bubble down. There's a red Evo. The Gibraltar gets taken out by Teen. It's going to be Bambino to go down. Hill does get pushed, and that's going to be aim assist Dracos to take him out. But Team Intel will win out the fight as Tempest takes some damage. Who does he go down to?
Looks like the zone actually knocked him right there, so they should be absolutely fine. Remember, Madness got taken out early by Drop, and now Pow, he's going to drop as well. CLG, they fall. Meanwhile, Teen doing whatever he can on these stairs against NRG, finds a knock, gets the finish on to Pow. Now Hill, the last guy alive. NRG going to finish this one off, only losing Nathan there. Not even a full loss, just the knock. Will he be able to get the res. The bubble's down. Great 110 coming in. That's going to be Farmer Lucas, Fat Fruit Ninja, and the Pop-Tarts team running directly into the Mastiff from NRG. Great job protecting Nathan. Job's not over yet. They still have one more player to finish, but it's Blighty, and he's extremely weak, and he's just portal hopping, trying to hit some cells. It looks like NRG going to be able to fully stabilize. Not until Sweet comes around the corner, though, and knocks Rocker.
Yeah, they've got, of course, the Revenant ult to work with as well. They will be able to finish them off. Do they know that they have one last player remaining here? Oh, they lost Lou during all that. Don't know if they'll be able to try and res him. Oh, they did get the res off, so it's going to be a 2v2 over here. Rogue versus, I believe, what, Team Pop-Tarts on the other side.
Yeah, and you have the Caustic Barrels here for Sweet. I'd love to see him use them. They know a player's there. Why isn't he tossing him out? Blighty hasn't hit a med kit yet. Fat Fruit Ninja splits from the team. Nasky finds a knock right there onto Crust, and that's it for Team Pop-Tarts. They could not get it together. The pressure from Rogue was just too high. You also have Team Razor up here sitting pretty on the high ground in the sniper post, just getting tons of information and tons of free shots as they've been up here the entire game.
Yeah, they will have to come down with this next ring, though. And doesn't look like anyone's below them. It's 7 squads remaining, and the only squad that is down to a duo is going to be Team Rogue. It looks like TSM is still below them currently, which is why Mercy is keeping an eye on this zip line for now, making sure they do not get flanked from this position as they run in with the ring.
Yep, I'll have to see what Team Razor is going to do here. Is it's going to be Hackula with the portal. So you see he's going to hit this one. Perfect timing as the zone's going to close. The only problem is he's not going to have his Q. And when you have the gold armor, it's not that big of a deal. However, you do have a nice little push coming in here from the Rice Krispies squad. The PK Volt combination inside is extremely deadly for Sunny, and there's the full wipe on the Cooler squad. Rice Krispie Treats getting it done, finally starting to gain the momentum we know they can get.
Yeah, they got to run into with the zone, though. And there it is. Bubble out for Team Razor, and it looks like it's Rogue standing in their way. Drop does go down as Sweets will be able to pick up 2 there with the caustic gas, but he will not be able to finish them off. Team Razor survive for now, but will they be able to stabilize off the back of this? It doesn't look like there's anyone to their south, surprisingly.
He's still silenced, too. That's the longest silence in the world. Has the gen, wonder if he's going to put it down. Doesn't even res the Gibraltar, which I felt like could have been the better play here, but instead going to get up the Wraith and going to try to reset, like you said, no one over towards their south as we hop back on board with Team Rice Krispie Treats. This zone typically has a lot more teams, only 4 squads left, so the aggression coming in from Sung. Bird's going to drop that defensive bombardment. They're going to slow barrel push up there. Unfortunate for Sung that he ends up getting hit by that defensive bombardment, which slows him down a little bit. A counter EMP comes out. Stunny wasn't ready for the heat. Albert Lily getting the knock. They ran into full Team Liquid, playing it safe behind a rock.
Yeah, they fully committed onto this side, and they fully commit to their death. So Team Liquid will be able to pick up that +3. Now it's Team Liquid plus TSM, I believe, that were playing to the north side. And then you've got Team Razor out here. If we can swap on over to get visual confirmation about the final squad, it does look like it is TSM on the other side. So it's just going to be a 3-way finish here in game number 6.
And TSM has the priority spot, but the thing is about the priority spot is people are going to want that. You see the rock and you can see the map, so that's a great cover here. And I like how Reps is already preemptively pulling out that defensive bombardment, so they throw that right, that stops that team from coming that way. They're going to be forced to use their bubble or whatever resources they have. He's going to pop the Beast of the Hunt on Snipe down side, so he's going to get the faster scans. And now they could focus on this left side if they wanted to, but instead they're going to focus right, keep their body blocked off towards the left side, and then deal with that later. And TSM going to full send, I guess, with a bubble. Interesting strategy over here. They're now caught out in the middle, and TSM doesn't normally put themselves in this type of position where they're fighting first in this 3-man duel, and that's what they're dealing with right now. Is Snipe down is going to get dropped. Team Razor with the cleanup. Team Liquid and TSM going back and forth there, and Razor is going to come in with the W.
I think TSM were just trying to send a message to Team Liquid after what Albert Lely did to them earlier on. That's kind of weird to say, seeing as how, of course, Albert Lely is a content creator for TSM right now. But yeah, that was a great decision by Team Razor. Hold it down, wait it out. TSM looked like, they had to just full commit onto that. It didn't seem like they had enough of the rock to play around, and either way, they were going to be peaked by one of the other squads. So they made the decision. They made the executive call. Let's go ahead and push one team, try to pick up the KP, try to get the additional placement points as well. But what an exciting end to that game there, Tom.
Yeah, if that rock was safe, it would have been in the play for TSM. The thing that's interesting about that is TSM had that entire circle to pick from on which spot they wanted. So I thought they were going to do something a little bit different, which was zone off the team to the right and focus the team to the left. But they made it so easy for Team Razor. They full send it, which is something TSM normally doesn't do. Again, when you're 3 teams in this final zone, you don't want to be the first team to fight. You don't want to be the second team to fight. You want to be just like Team Razor coming through and doing the cleanup. But sometimes there's nothing that you can do right there. Team Liquid put themselves in that position. They're holding that platform for quite some time. But to me, what's surprising is that they didn't zone out on the right-hand side. Reps could have thrown that all a little bit later, and then they all could have focused that left side.
Yeah, I think the moment that they could have won was when Razor were taking on Dropped and Rogue. They got 2 knocks. I believe that TSM were still rotating in from inside of Trials. There was an opportunity to come in. I'm surprised that the third party didn't come there. I was expecting it the whole time.
Yeah, that's something that they really specialize in. But hey, one of our partner teams coming through with the W, it is going to be Team Razor. Keep in mind, they were the #1 point getters overall throughout the qualifiers. So it's not surprising to see them be one of the teams that come through and get it. And holding that God spot proved to be extremely useful for them.
Yeah, and not seeing Sentinels there, I believe, in the top as well. Like, we have our leaderboard just continually changing every single game at the end there. TSM ultimately did find some good team fights as well. We saw them take that early team fight up against, I believe, Cheez-Its in the north before they rotated in with that zone. But, I mean, everything that happened at Skyhook was also just kind of like an entire fiesta. And so don't know exactly how many points were picked up by which teams. We'll have the leaderboards shortly enough. Now we got 2 more games ahead of us, Tom, and it's surprising that 2 nights in a row. You know what? I'm going to shut up right now before I curse us. So we got 2 more games to go, and it's been 6 exciting games so far, Tom.
Yeah, and I gotta again give credit to CLG for only having a 2-man squad right there and doing so well. They really did Madness proud, in my opinion, with the way that they were able to manipulate the map and survive as a 2-man squad for that long. But I'm looking at a team like Team Pop Tarts that wasn't able to handle the guys over towards the bottom there, and it's just unfortunate because if they're able to win that fight and rotate in, they're going to be able to get a lot more points. And again, we have a separate point system, not a separate point system, but there's another leaderboard just for our partner teams, because like you were saying, after this 3-month span, there are going to be opportunities for other teams to make their way in. So again, I'm looking at teams like Team Intel, Team Rockstar, for example, who's had a tough go of it so far because of the fact they're getting 50-50. I'm looking at those teams to go and step it up and play just like we know Team Razor is able to do and come through with a W.
Yeah, this is all about, honestly, giving our partner teams room to grow, right? And experience, giving them the support to really try and level up their games across the next 3 months to really compete against some of the top teams here. When we brought some of the best from North America, some of the best from EU and the CIS. And so we're not messing around. We've got $1,000 on the line every week, $500 on Tuesday, $500 on Wednesday. And so there's a lot of time for them to try and pick up this experience, especially because, scrims aren't going quite so well for everybody. It's not quite the same. EU's getting like decent scrim experience, but I've been hearing some complaints about the NA system so far. And so giving them more incentives and more experience to play, this is only going to help out the scene as a whole in the long run.
Yeah, and the EU players are grinders, right? So are the NA guys. But the thing about the EU is there's typically more teams that come out and just show out for Apex on the EU side. So it's not surprising that they're able to fill a couple of different lobbies. But on the NA side, again, there is so many up and coming players, and that's what's been so great for Series E is we got a chance to interview everybody on draft day. There's still even more players that are going to come through this system, so it's going to be exciting to see. And we've seen a lot of great highlights so far. I mean, I've seen some fantastic plays from players on Cheez-Its. I've seen, again, Team Razor coming through and implementing their powerful team fighting skills. But it's nice to also see Team Razor come through and lock down a spot for quite some time and then make the rotation because of the fact that they, sometimes have been forced to play the edge for so long.
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of styles just completely just hitting, going head to head at this point. Don't know exactly what we're waiting on right now, but we have game number 7 coming up shortly. I think we're supposed to take a break. Find out from our admins very shortly. But you were going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, it'll be the fun 2 games. Never mind. We are actually loading into game. And so we're heading straight into game number 7, guys.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to commercial right there, but we won't. We'll keep the gameplay going, still breaking it down and analyzing it. And it's been the first time we've seen a partner team come through and win. Again, it was the organizations throughout all of this, and they've been dominating. It's not surprising that TSM, now that they've switched on over to Gibraltar, has been fantastic. But I thought the highlight for that game for me was when Madness gets hit with the Revenant Silence, and the Revenant Silence just continued to bully these guys. As you saw, I think it was multiple players trying to pop down. I think it was Team Rockstar was trying to get Rezzes off, trying to get Watson Gens down, and you just have that silence just sitting there. So a little bit of a grief, but it's also fun to watch because we know that that was the meta not too long ago with the Crypto, Wraith, and Revenant combination.
It's still the meta in APAC South and APAC North. I think half the teams are still rocking a Revenant composition of some sorts. But you got to see how strong they were actually with it as well. They did a really good job. They almost took out, I believe, it was Team Razor who were playing on Sniper Hill. He ended up, I believe, throwing one of the silences onto the side of the mountain where they were sliding down from. So that was just amazing to watch. So Complexity showing us the depth of their hero pool, of their legends pool. And so if this is a thing that they're going to try and explore more, I wouldn't be against it. I'd like to see some more legend diversity, although we are seeing some good compositional diversity across both NA and EU.
Yeah, and the new season's coming out fairly soon. So once that happens, we'll see if the meta is going to continue to change. I'm hearing rumors about possibly the R9 being ground loot. Not sure if that's a cap or a troll or not, but I hope it's back. I'm praying that it's back. That's my favorite gun by far. But taking a look at Team Razor and what their route is, because they won the previous game, start to see what this Trials loot is all about. You're going to see Hakulo here on the outskirts, just picking up a couple of items on these buildings. And what's interesting about this side of the map is it's a very, very rare, but there are zones that end out here, right where that building was, and right over towards under this bridge. And a lot of zones have been over towards the south side. So once this has hit over towards the north side, it's Team Razor land, and they were able to execute.
Yeah, and Zara Tricky is going to start the trials for himself. And, you know, there's it's been twice that NRG tried to contest him off of this. Mercy Only is doing a good job of making sure to check that rotation path and make sure that they're not caught off guard by NRG once again. But is this fight down southeast in Lava City? Team Rockstar versus Cooler, as it looks like that is the DMZ, that is the demarcation zone right there, straight down the middle of Lava City.
And this is how Lava City is supposed to be played with the 50-50, is you have one team take one side, the other team take the other. The side that Cooler is on typically has the advantage because you are going to have the high ground and you have to cross this open area where Team Rockstar is. So even if you get initial damage, that area to make up is so far that they're going to be able to heal by the time that you get over there, and they're always going to have the high ground on the opposite side. So we'll see what Team Rockstar elects to do. They're going against superior armors right there, as you can see in your picture in the bottom right. Purple on Yuki and blue on Serdell. No heals, no heals for Matt Pickett. There's the Phoenix kit,
And Nasky took some damage though, but there is the knock. Rakinisha will go down. The Spitfire just too much as Yuki finds another one, and there it is. Crummy falling, and it's all up to Matt Pickett. He was able to finish off with that Phoenix kit, but he's just got the triple take. He's got the Hemlock. He's got a Gibraltar foot in his face, and he will go down. We got another fight taking place though, as it looks like Zara Tricky versus Team Rogue right now.
Yep, Team Razor is going to mop that up, and Hakulo is going to gain the kill lead there with 3 kills, so nice job there by Team Razor. But NRG, if we can hop on over, is there with the grief, and what do you know, it's going to be Rocker busting out the Revenant.
Oh, boy. Oh, Mr. Hakulo is turning this around, though. We'll see exactly where Nathan fell. They should be able to res him once they knock him into safety. that might mean on the other side, they'll be able to get Zero Tricky up, and they will. They've got the Phoenix Kit popping as well as they back away off this. They've got the armor swaps to work with. Never mind. No armors for them here, but he does have cells along with that generator. And if you're NRG, if you don't have the totem, you don't push this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You have the high ground right here on Team Razor's side, but it looks like someone's going to get aggressive. I'm not sure who exactly that was. Maybe setting it up the zip line, but
CLG?
I don't know, but that's a very aggressive play by whoever that is, especially since there was some fences down, but I do like the counter fences coming in from Mercy too. So they're just going to hold this high ground. If they drop down, they're definitely susceptible to getting flanked on, and you could see 3 kills. Again, Hakulo is your kill leader. They did get a wipe a little bit earlier, but now having to deal with another team. It's not CLG, because CLG's made their way over here towards Navi's side, and Madness gets knocked again. It's going to be Strafe with the charge rifle. Great shots by Vaxon with that 2-4 R301 though.
Yeah, they've got the Watson generator down as well, and the res has been stuck as the teams are making the rotation now over to the northeast side of the map. Currently, Team Pringles finding themselves caught out as they try to rotate through. No name. It's Casellas to go down, and they're not going to have an opportunity to get him back. Hundreds, and Stink taking a lot of damage. Stink does have the Q to work with, but he's also got the cover of the bridge. It is NRG continuing their push on to Team Razor right now. And okay, there we go. Thank you for going back to the action, as NRG will be able to pick up these kills. We'll see if they finish off Team Razor, though.
Should be a cleanup there for NRG, and that's tough for Team Razor, as you do see Hakulo getting the knock right there onto Rocker. He's facing himself off with a 1 versus 3 though, so that's just not going to happen. Rocker gets the nice 50-50 damage on, and the finish is going to go on over to NRG. Team Razor, winners of last game, now being taken out fairly early. Did pick up 3 points for that one though, so not completely gone, but tough break there and a lot of focus on their side of the map.
Yeah, that does afford teams like Team Cheez-It and others to rotate into the center of the ring right now. As you can see, the second ring pulling heavily on over to these rocks, but Strictly has taken so much damage, he does have to back away from Team Cheez-It right to another team. It's CLG coming in, that knock with the Volt. Madness able to pick that one up as Strictly will get finished off. Now Amaze is going to try and turtle up with these caustic barrels.
He's lining them up, man. He's got the Orion's belt here inside of the blue trailer, but now Sentinel's getting a little bit frisky over here towards the no-name side, and it looks like that's where the zone could possibly be pulling towards when you go and you look at exactly what the scan is. Nice little damage there with the Mastiff. They're going to drop Team Pop-Tarts. Also, I thought Portal was going to be put down, but looks like it's just going to be a fake one as CLG takes this high ground over here. They did just get a couple of kills, and looks like they're favoring the Overlook side. So Overlook, no name, tough to call exactly where this one's going to pull, but Third Impact getting busy over here, and so is TSM. It's going to be Madness falling for CLG.
Yeah, that's going to allow TSM full control shortly over the Rock's position as we swap on over to a fight going on over at Train. LG in the thick of things right now as Rugby is forced to queue on out. Sonya and Ronnie will follow through that port, and that'll get them into safety of this cover right now, as it looks like another team, well, quite possibly, nothing but Crossfire on them. They do have options. They don't need to commit onto this right now, but they are getting chased down. The Bloodhound Q coming out. It's going to be Ronnie to pop that Beast of the Hunt. He's got the high ground for his squad, as one has jumped over the fence. That's going to be NRG's Nathan to take out Sonya now. Playing a man behind is LG, as NRG will continue to push forward. They've got the Revenant ulti as well, and Ronnie having difficulty with this door now as he's being pressured by that zone. Frex gets the knock, and it's all up to Rugby to try and rat this one out.
Yeah, Rugby's done for. They have a Bloodhound. I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to catch up to him, and if I was him, I would definitely take that route instead of going left there. So I do like that play, and double finishers coming in for Nathan and Frex as they're going to reset their armors, and nice hops there is trying out for the Olympics over there in the hurdles, but double pinch coming in from both sides. Sentinels on one side, and we talked about how we like to have Pringles in our sandwiches, but this is the type of Pringle sandwich that you want. Stink has to get out of there. That's going to be cooler, and Sentinels coming through.
Cooler got one knock onto Crust. They've got the man advantage, but Dell has gone down. Nasky finds one more for them, so it's going to be the 2v1 as Yuki tries to get that thirst for that armor swap, but instead he goes ahead, pops that back because it's safe. Nasky will be able to finish off Sentinels, and Sentinels go down in top 13, which is massive. We have to remember that they were on top of the leaderboards beforehand, and so they're not going to have an opportunity to continue gaining points. It's going to be TSM to try and take back the lead.
Nasky kill leader with 5, but you know, the team that's one of our partner teams that has predicted the circles the best is by far Team Applejacks. They just haven't been able to fully execute. So one of the hardest things to do in the game is just get the circle knowledge and get the rotation knowledge, being able to loot fast and get to your spot. Everybody else is so individually skilled here. Yes, teamwork and team fighting and skirmishing is extremely important, but getting to your spot before the other teams is what's going to set you apart, and that's what we saw yesterday with 2 brains, 1 controller putting themselves in winning positions. Really nice job by whoever is calling the shots on Team Applejacks to get them over towards that overlook platform, which is a dominant position.
Yeah, TSM looking for an engage. As you can see, Hal is on that lurk with the scan coming out. Got full information about that squad, but I don't want to get too aggressive quite yet. Too many unknown factors currently with the rest of the map, and it looks like CLG with Vaxlon going down are out in top 12.
Yeah, right now Hal is looking for some ammo, so maybe Snipe Down could give him like 20 shots or something like that, just so he could charge that Evo up a little bit more and give himself that confidence that they need to push this building, which is 303. And if Hal knew there was 2 to 3 stacks of light ammo just sitting on that top floor, I bet he'd send it immediately. But you could see other teams in the vicinity. They don't want to send it quite yet because the third party could come from any different type of side. But with these overlook zones, they end over towards where TSM is. There's also endings where 303 is. Nestle Pure Life's in a good spot as well. And then you have Team Applejacks possibly getting the zone pull on their side as well.
Yeah, Nestle Pure Life, if they can make it into the late game here, this would be massive. They have been having some difficulty doing so far. They have been trying to retool basically their lineup and trying things out to varying degrees of success. But NRG with this change up, going with that Revenant, going full W squad, has been able to pick up kill after kill right now, but they are out of the range of that death totem as they push forward. And the Beast of the Hunt is popped by Frex, and he spots one out inside the car, gets some decent damage off, but their timing might be a little bit late now as they have to back away. Nades being tossed down. Oh boy, Rocker sliding downhill, will dodge that next one, but Nathan finds a knock onto 9 Impulse.
Nathan's been playing fairly good this game, and NRG starting to gain some more confidence as they've been playing aggressive with this fun team composition. A little bit of fast forwarding there from Rocker, living in the future, but tons of grenades coming out back and forth. Looks like they are going against Third Impact, who did just bust out the EMP. That was a friendly EMP from Jazzaz. And now the players are going to push in. Snipe Down finds a knock right onto 303. He finds 2 knocks. So TSM getting in their own fight over here as we take a look at what's going on between NRG and Third Impact.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on in this rough area as Third Impact are taking a lot of damage. Zicky barely able to get into that queue before he goes down. It's going to be Rocker who gets taken out by Jazaz with that wingman. Let's see if they can try and recover him as Frex is holding this choke for now. He's laying out some decent damage, but he gets challenged now. He's dropped down to about 40 HP. Pulls out his secondary. It's not going to be enough. Zicky is the one that gets the knock onto him. Nathan coming back up is able to answer back, but no. It's just too much pressure as Rocker backs off to get that bat off. It's going to be a 1v1. Zicky going for that full heal, though. Both of them will get that med kit off. It's going to be Rocker with the HP advantage as he has that full red up now. We'll see if he can get the silence off. Oh, no, he's going for the res instead. Will he be able to stick and slide around the corner? He hears him. He goes for the flick. Rocker gets some decent damage off. He does have 30 additional HP to work with, especially after that spray. And now he's going to hunt him down. He will be able to finish him off. NRG will get that fight win.
Nice job by Rocker. Originally the first person to get knocked, gets rezzed, helps his teammates out. and wins the team fight for NRG. What an epic battle there between Third Impact and NRG, but like we said, NRG was picking up the momentum, and they're going to keep that one up, and that's not easy competition to do it against. We saw Third Impact Black just dominating team fight after team fight a couple of games ago, so now it looks like NRG in position to possibly have the biggest game in this lobby. Is only 8 squads remaining and a decent amount of ground to make up, but once you're on the edge, you're on the edge, and we saw Stink rat it out, get out of that third party that happened, and now trying to make his way for Team Pringles to this final zone.
I believe there might be one other rat squad. We have 8 squads remaining, 20 players here. So 4 players are missing right now. Don't know exactly who. Let's go ahead and change it up. If we can, please, observers. Okay.
Well, we like to see Stink looking at this blue crate, okay? It's a very interesting crate. Maybe he's going to pop some graffiti on there. Maybe a Pringles emote, just like we saw Hundreds have. Shout out to Hundreds for that one. But looking at what I think it was Team Liquid. Yes, Team Liquid hitting the scan for us and letting us know where this one is going to rotate towards NPL. There you go. E-Boy Ronnie there on the Wraith. Still alive over towards this building. Now they're going to start to see exactly where this one's going to go. So the rotation come through, and you're right, Jamerson. There's the other rat. It's going to be LG Rugby, who got out of dodge on that Wraith and found his way over towards this side. But it's Applejacks on the platform, who we were looking at before. Thought they were going to get the zone pull, but not quite. Still a little bit of work to be made for them.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Kenny here with this triple take to find an opening for them. They will be able to port, as you do see Klein popping the ultimate excels for now to get that portal for him. They've got another minute 20 to work with as well. It's about leaving yourself, of course, some time, some leniency, just in case something happens on the other side of that portal. It looks like quite possibly they want to go ahead and check their back, maybe take a rotation to the north.
Yeah, and it's up to Klein to start figuring out exactly what they want to do, because this team is very annoying behind them. You see they're pinging the truck in front of them, but if they leave this spot, that means they potentially get third-partied. But now it's going to be Hal getting taken down. It's going to be Nathan with the start. R9 in the hands of Reps, though. Will he be able to turn this fight? You do have Kraber and Volt in the hands of Nathan. He's going to have to hit a shot here. Goes for the 360. Pringles, Rockstar, no scope, but instead, it's going to be a complete mop snipe down coming through. 5 kills for him. Hitting the scan as well. EMP coming through. Can he get his boy Reps back up so the bubbles can come down? That's not the case. It's Albarelli with the third party from behind. Team Liquid and Mac now using this head glitch over here towards this respawn beacon, ruining TSM's dreams, and that looked like a big Caustic ult coming his way. Not quite sure if that was the case, but they are outie, and it was Bambinos.
Yeah, so NPL able to get out of their building and rotate to the north-hand side, try to be the fourth party to that entire affair now. You got to be careful running out in the open like that. Bambino will try and check Albarelli, but it looks like he does have the Q to jump off the ledge and keep himself safe for now. Bambino does have 3 caustic barrels to work with, but it looks like Albarelli will be able to get out to safety, but Bambino has to be careful. Overpeaked for just a little bit, and his armor got cracked instantly.
Yeah, you look at Bambino's cell situation, and it's pretty dire, but there was 4 boxes back there that hopefully his teammates were going to be able to help with. There's Albarelli getting knocked by Rugby, who was the final rat, and he is stuck outside of the zone, so he is going to fry to that one. Can he get around the corner? Can they punch him in? No. LG, Rugby, ruining Mac's hopes and dreams. Now it's just Team Liquid minus Mac. Very unfortunate for them, but NPL with this high ground, great spot for them to be in.
Yeah, that can happen. It does look like they do have the mobile respawn beacon, so they should be able to bring him back in, but that also means that NPL might just full send it onto Team Liquid. Cooler have the same idea right now as oh boy, TSM got themselves, Team Liquid got themselves into a world of trouble here. So Albarelli's back, but here's Yuki with an arc star trying to punish them as Bats being tossed on over to Nasky. And hey, Team Liquid, they've stabilized.
Yeah, that mobile respawn beacon comes up super clutch there, and I believe this isn't going to tick hard enough, and there's enough time that Albarelli is going to be able to get his loot back. He's going to know exactly where his box is, and got a little cuddle puddle over here towards the drop. And you do have the team that took that bottom area, which Not quite sure who that was. So if we could find out and scroll through who made their way down to the truck, I'm curious if that was Team Applejacks that made their way from the high ground.
Might be something good this way.
Oh, Albert Laley's gone down again, but it looks like it was just the zone, so we can recover everything. 5 seconds before the zone starts closing down. They've got a long rotation ahead of them. It is Team Applejacks inside the truck. They will port out back on to the high ground for now, and they do have this cover to work with on the slow side of the circle.
This is great for them. I love this play coming in from Team Applejacks. Again, they've been on top of these zones for quite some time, and now we're seeing some good play from Kenny there with the possible EMP coming through. Can't eat too much damage, though. That rock right in front of them is huge if they could play that one. You got to watch out for teams over towards the high ground. Ronnie taking some angles as well. Bambino's still alive, hitting some cells with that gold armor. And now it's Albrelli with the R9 fighting 2 knocks on Tanaski. Cooler still has 1 player alive. It's going to be Surdell. It's a 2 versus 1, maybe a 1 versus 1, but E-Boy Ronnie is going to send it instead with the Mastiff. Albrelli gets the finish over there. He's the last one alive. Can NPL close this one out? Dracos needs to hit a battery. You still have, I think, 1 player alive. Possibly more than that as they do start to push over towards this rock. It's going to be a full team of 3 Applejacks going up against Team NPL. Applejacks gets the dub.
Yeah, they were able to wait that one out, and it was really close. As you can see, the caustic composition just creeping up on Applejacks, but they were able to slow things down with that EMP and ultimately take that win. That was one of the nuttier end games that we've seen in quite some time, Tom.
That was a super exciting game, and it was 2 partner teams duking it out. I'm really glad to see Ronnie back on right there for MPL. I liked the caustic play coming out for them as well. And now Applejacks finally gets the W under their belt. They've been so close. They've played the best out of our partner teams today, especially in terms of picking where that zone's going to go. They started off over towards the high ground on the platform overlook side. Then they made their way down low towards that truck. I love that portal to go back and forth towards the slow edge of the zone. And then they kept everything in front of them. Their backs cleared towards the circle and then just fought what was going on right there. Clean 3v3 against NPL. Big dub for Team Applejacks.
All right, GG's Team Applejacks. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have the leaderboards and then head into the final game of the evening. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is Series E. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E as we are looking to close out our final game of the evening here in day number 2. As we head into game number 8, let's go ahead and take a look at where all of our teams are on the leaderboard right now. We'll see if TSM has been able to break away, and they currently hold a 13-point lead over Team Liquid. Sentinels has fallen behind as well, now sitting in 3rd place, 8 points behind Team Liquid.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from Tanner Slays saying that he wants to get in and give TSM a motivational speech. He feels like it can help them out with their communication. If TSM cleans up their communication, if they bring the Tanner Slays comms to the table, no one is going to stop them because their individual skill is so ridiculous. Again, I love the change from Watson over to Gibraltar for reps. I never found a reason to even play Watson when you're rocking a Bloodhound to begin with. It just makes sense, especially when you have such great circle knowledge like you do on Hal's side. It allows you to go and play the edge. It allows you to go and take team fights. You could do anything. And TSM, when they were struggling when they had Albrily, their problem was getting into the God spot early and not finding enough kills because the meta shifted. There was Cryptos, there was Bloodhounds, there was Gibraltars. A lot of teams were dying. They weren't able to find picks from the center of the zone, and they would get a lot of placement points, but not a lot of kills. Now they're getting a good mix of both, about 50-50, and they're really starting to show that on all forms now. So not surprising to me that TSM is winning this one with the change that they made. Meanwhile, we look at the teams that are partnered. It's going to be Razor and Applejacks, 2 teams that have gotten dubs respectively throughout that. They're really starting to show off in the second half, Jamerson.
Yeah, Team Razor now with a 2-point lead, and they have been fairly consistent. Well, they always have been here at Series E, as it looks like we are ready to get into game number 8, our final game of the evening. We have $500 on the line, of course, going to 1st and 2nd places respectively, and that's it. So if you want to make it, you got to catch up. Team Sentinels is the one trailing right now, I believe. And so as we head into game number 8, it's a 3-way race, basically. TSM, as long as they don't just brick on drop, I believe they place top 2.
Yeah, and TSM really wants to win this one. They want to win every single tournament, and that's what I love about these guys is they take the scrim seriously, they take practice seriously, tournaments extremely seriously, and that's why they're so darn consistent as we take a look at what Team Applejacks is doing, how they've been able to predict all the circles fairly quickly. It's going to be Lou also getting a knock on a Na'Vi. Meanwhile, Team Rockstar, this has been the epic 50-50 that's been happening all day. It's going to be cooler. This is going to be some serious beef on Twitter after this one. Bodies were being shot, teabags back and forth, so.
Matt Pickett might be able to get the res off here as here's the first nade, but it's a thermite and it doesn't look like it's going to connect. They've got the bubble down. It's 3rd impact once again with the in that fight up against Cheez-It. And there we go. We have the finish of that fight. Cooler does win the one out in Lava City. Why are there so many teams here right now? Strictly pushing out as he tries to get the knock. He will onto Jazaz. Will he be able to get the thirst? He does with the Mozambique. Not enough time to go for that armor swap as he does get finished off by 3rd impact.
It's just a nice job at least picking up a point on the way. It's not just about the point. He was trying to get the armor swap like you were saying, Jamerson. That was his only play to try and pull that one off, because what happens in these type of instances is Reps goes and finds a kill there onto Na'Vi. What happens is the other player doesn't expect you to still have shields, so they hit you a couple times, think that you're going to die, but they start to struggle a little bit once they realize that you armor swap because it was such a fast and good play. But when we look at TSM, they're inside the zone. They already have a couple of points on board. And we know that when we go to the final game of any series of any single tournament, that teams start to play desperate because they want to put up big games. So all TSM has to do is weather the storm, not make any huge mistakes, and find out exactly how they want to go and play this one. When you have good armors, when you have that Gibraltar, that Band-Aid over there, cover for your brothers on Reps, it's going to be much safer for these guys to go and make their plays.
Yeah, they don't have the beacon, but this composition doesn't have to rely upon the beacon. They can rely upon their own individual fragging skills, and Imperial Hal is definitely someone you do not want to piss off here, as the rotation is coming out from the no-name team, I believe. Who was that was dropping over there earlier? Was that Team NPL?
That was Team NPL, but they were making their way over towards Overlook side, so I'm surprised to see that they even want to contest TSM over towards here. But Pringles is going to get knocked. It's going to be Albarelli from Team Liquid, and the boys coming in. Stink doing his best job, though, only has an alternator with no mag, so it's going to be tough. And there's the rest of the players from Team Liquid plus Mac. Albarelli really putting in some work today. It's been great to see him back on the competitive scene. Welcome back, Mac. Meanwhile, we're taking a look at Team Razor. We know they're a Skyhook team. The fact that they haven't left yet makes me wonder where this zone exactly is going to be. We've seen them over towards that trial side a lot, but now they made their way over towards here and possibly a Skyhook zone like yesterday.
Yeah, after getting aped by NRG, they just completely give up trials. And so they will just go ahead and give that one up. And it's no more gold armors for them right now. The ring is going to go ahead and pull all the way over towards Survey Camp. It can even go over towards that beacon. We've been seeing a lot of these lately.
Pretty sure that's a survey ending. We'll see exactly what the routes are going to be for everybody. But Madness and CLG, they're going to lock down this tunnel side and gatekeep a lot of players over here. We've seen Razor do this fairly often. They love locking this spot down, but Madness not hitting the shots that he wants to, at least using these head glitches perfectly. So he's laying down a little bit of damage and backing off at the same time. There's the knock. It's going to be onto Rogue. They're going to full send this one once they figure out who it is. That is also, I believe, the Wraith player too in front of him. That is great shots sliding down the hill coming in. And that's it for Rogue. Nice little T-bag coming in for Madness, showcasing what they're made of. But look out, here comes a third party. It's Team Razor. We know they love coming through this tunnel.
Yeah, CLG, they're forced to use that Q early on. Is Madness. Looks like he does make it to safety here. As, oh boy, barely surviving, hitting for flash. Zeratricky gets the knock onto Pow, and now Team Razor will push forward. They have been on the back foot in a lot of these fights, but now they are trying to take control. CLG getting pushed. Now it's Madness to get knocked by Mercy only. And Team Razor will control the north side of this map, while Vaxlon was able to make it out to safety.
But it's just the Watson, so it's going to be tough. You don't have the Pathfinder, you don't have the Wraith, just a lonely Watson with no mobility. As a nice caustic ult coming in. It looks like Bird's going to toss the defensive bombardment too. NRG getting some knocks on a Team Pop-Tarts, which I think this is the fight right in front of them. Sunny trying to get some lines of sight, but not feeling that one with just a Volt, no mag, and his teammates not really there to help with the cover fire. So they're going to reset, try to find some angles, and figure out where these next teams are coming from.
Was considering taking the tower, but they do have to choke to work with as they just back off. It's TSM now contesting here on the northern side. That might be Team Zeratricky possibly in front of them here, as Snipe Down has popped that Beast of the Hunt. He will have the Q out as soon as he finishes off that cell, and they're right on top of him. The port comes out just in time for them. They have the bubble down on the other side as well. So TSM get out of trouble there. It's Team Razor now getting knocked. It's Mr. Haculo. It's Mercy only now, as he does have the port to get out of there into another building, into the Watson traps. Oh boy, so the alarm bells have been sound, and it's another third party coming in, it seems like. No, Vax gets a knock onto Lion. Kenny is going to go for the thirst on to one, and so much is going on over here.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get Lion back up, as you do have defensive bombardment coming in. Maybe he could punch Lion inside, but not enough time. Kenny's just going to have to back off, recover banners, and maybe try to get this respawn over here if he's lucky, but I don't think he's going to be lucky because you have a couple of players there on the outlines. Looks like a Pathfinder trying to make his way into the door. Nice little bait and switch here. Almost gets the knock. Not quite sure if that player walks away with 1 HP or what, but it looked like he did more than enough damage to get that one. Both beacons in hand, both banners in hand, excuse me. And now Kenny's opportunity slowly fading away. He gets taken down to no shields. I do love this play to just get out of there. Survey is going to be where this is going to end. That's why you see all these teams setting up there. And just want to point out the play that TSM made. I love the way that they got out of that fight, secured themselves some more safe placement points, and then hit the bubble immediately. That could have been scary for them and opened up the board for the rest of the guys behind them.
Yeah, Kenny did ultimately go down there at the end, just peaked by too many squads. It's Team NPL playing Gatekeeper up against TSM right now. We're just healing through the first zone. It's more of a tickle right now more than anything else, as they have all this cover to work with, so they will be safe. We'll see how determined Team NPL are about keeping TSM out of this game.
I feel like this is a great opportunity to gatekeep because of the fact that if they just sit here with their sniper rifles, they can continue to bully TSM, but it is the first zone, like you said, just tickling, not a big deal, and this team on the high ground is going to distract Nestle Pure Life just a little bit. So I don't think the team to the left got the memo that there's still a team in the zone. I don't think they saw or heard the shots, so TSM could come behind them, which means NPL could third party, but I really feel like TSM is going to take the longest route possible in order to secure themselves some more placement.
We do have pings coming out from Team NPL, spotting one all the way to the northwest of them, but it's more immediate threat close to them. As we join Team Intel now, as they have gone on board the Revenant train as well. Hill is going to be the one to pick that one up, and oh boy, North America, why are you doing this?
Yeah, Revenant is the most frustrating legend to play against. Why? Because he just griefs everything, and it's just overly aggressive. But fortunately for the rest of these teams, they're not playing crypto because that would be even more toxic. So we'll see what happens here for Team Intel as they're trying to get some more points on the board. Not been their day today. Probably the worst they will play in Series E because of the fact that these guys are so talented. I think they had 4 points after the first 4 games. They can get that in just a blink of an eye in a matter of minutes. So expecting big things from them next week. But Team NPL has started to put it together since they had Ronnie back on Wraith and they switched Bambino over to this Caustic. Can the Caustic save him this time? It's going to be Flanker and Team Liquid flying in. Albrelli going to join the party as well, and the initial damage coming in big time. Flanker now your kill leader.
Oh, but here's TSM now coming in for the third party. They've already taken out Albrelli, and Flanker's going to try and slide down this hill with that Phoenix kit in hand. Does he actually have the angle? Do they actually chase him down? Looks like they might have just run past him, miss him on that scan there. Nope, never mind. Slides right into view and almost taken out. Almost one clip by Imperial Hal here. But it looks like TSM, they're going to give up the chase. They've already gotten the kills that they want, and then they've been able to get into the zone. They need to recover some of this loot because they did spend a lot of time out there. They need to find some white heals. Oh, here comes a third party.
Yeah, third party. I was going to say another one of those zones that I feel like TSM specializes in, but there's so much action going on right over towards this hill. It's going to be sniped down, pushed up the furthest. There's the bubble coming in. There's the healing coming in. 2 double bubbles, and this is a huge fight for TSM. If they win this one, they could potentially have enough points to go and win this series here today. Cooler versus TSM. It's going to be Nasky with the initial knock there onto Reps. The flank coming in from Surdell. Nice shots, but he needs to hit this last wingman shot. He's not able to. The flank coming through. It's going to be Nasky going up against, I believe, Snipe Down for the final kill, and Snipe Down finishes it off. Nice job by him. Hits the battery. Can he stay alive around the corner? A couple of grenades coming through, and everybody going to know that it's TSM. So the kill feed lighting up in their favor, but here come the Wolves, and not good that you don't have the scan. There's the scan. You do have the knockdown shield, so this is good. But third impact, hot on the trail. Snipe Down doing what he can to go and hit these armor swaps, but it's all over for TSM. Fortunately for them, not that bad. A top 10 placement plus a decent amount of kill points could be all they need since they had a decent amount of cushion.
Yeah, Snipe Down with that back scratcher was just able to lay into the backs of 2 players. There just was not enough trading like that. It's Sentinels now on the hunt on top of the roof. Senox gonna pop that scan, spots one out. He's got that Kraber. And see, we got to see a lot of the Kraber earlier today. Great 2-piece coming out from Abralele onto TSM as well. It's been a fun night of games so far, and Sentinels are looking again they've got a decent position here in the center zone, but this is not a team that you normally see fighting in the center.
Different scenario though, because if you're not over here in survey, then it's kind of tough to get in. There's only a couple different spots that you can play. The building that they're in is the God building for this circle because the zone ends a majority of the time on this side. So I like this thought process, and I love how Retsy's playing this one. See, there's the difference between Sentinels and maybe a team that isn't ready to take it to that next level, because they would all be sitting inside the building right now just waiting it out. Instead, Retzi and the boys realizing the scenario. There's a lot of teams dead, a lot more than typical here, which means they have a lot more real estate to go and roam around and find pick potential, and they know they need these kills because of the fact TSM's out. And there's a lot of ground to make up. So we'll see what happens with this 410. I love when Sentinels have the Sentinel. Always pretty interesting, but it's going to be crust on this Gibraltar. And the 410 for me is my weakness. I cannot use this scope for the life of me. I'm not sure why, but I love these initial grenades, cutting off angles. Now Retzi's going to get aggressive as well. None of them hit, but at least forces players into some uncomfortable positions. A lot of damage on the initial push. The even 8 popping out as well. Only hitting a couple of 7s, somehow a 63. They were not expecting that to be NRG. Trades coming in from both sides, but Senox and the rest of Sentinels win the fight.
It's CLG, though, possibly coming in for the third party. The nades are here. LG are getting involved in as well now. And so Sentinels, the hunted, have become, well, the hunters have become the hunted, and they do get finished off. LG will be able to pick them off. CLG trying to gain some loot there up on the northern side, but they have been swatted away. Sonya now pushing forward with that flatline, the 3X. It's Rugby trying to chase after them, but it looks like CLG, they've gotten some loot. They'll be able to get out.
I'm a huge fan of the flatline with the 3X. I feel like it's extremely underrated. One of the players I see rock that one will be Hal. Glad to see Sonya as well picking it up and adapting to it. I feel like the flatline with the 3X is better than the R301 with the 3X, but everybody has their own cup of tea. The charge rifle with the 3X is very strong too. Anything that is mid-range, like the Hemlock, the Scout as well, would be perfect, but we're looking at Rugby with the Hemlock massive combination right now. Always fun to see what players do single fire and what players elect to do the burst. And I feel like the PC players, mouse and key players, like the burst a little bit more. The controller players go for the single fire.
Honestly, I both are good. Like, as if you're able to control it, they're outstanding either way. And now, though, it looks like they were able to recover. Who was it they ended up losing earlier on, Team Liquid? Was it Albraleli? Well, they are a full 3-man right now. They've got a great position. Albraleli on the high ground. He's got a great angle looking out. We'll see in just a minute where this next ring will pull, and that is basically going to decide how this game goes.
One thing's for sure is Team Liquid has a fantastic spot right now, and love the high ground being played there by Albraleli. There's the flatline 3X back. You also have the Kraber too, so it's going to be fun watching what Sonya is going to be able to do with this one on the Gibraltar. Spots out the player that's crouching around the corner. That's going to be a rat. There he is, hiding with the red armor. I believe that's going to be Vaxlon's skin. Not sure if he's still in the game or not, but little Elf Watson to me screams one player of CLG, and it was Vaxlon being taken out by Rugby. Meanwhile, Team Razor, they picked up a dub earlier. It's going to be Mercy only and Zeratrick are the only ones alive. They lost Hakulo earlier. See pings going down, Jamerson. This circle is closing here fairly soon. They're going to have to pick a spot and stick with it.
Yeah, typically we see them hold more to the northern side, but you know, they got a little overzealous, chased into survey camp, and Mr. Hakulo got taken down, but there's still an opportunity here with so many teams still alive now. Being a 2-man isn't the worst, but we'll see if they have an area to work with. You can see the pings going down for them to see where they can play off of, and so it looks like there is a small rotation that they can just walk into. The team to their north is going to give them some trouble.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing some cover fire coming in over towards the north side by Mercy only. I would love to see them play underneath one of these buildings here that are inside survey. That's definitely the spot when you go and you have this Watson. You see directly under you right there towards your right-hand side, Jamerson. Underneath those stairs would be a prime spot if they could get to it, but instead they're going to go and hold this spot here, and there it is, the rotation over towards this building. This is definitely the spot to be. You also have this ultimate accelerator, which is going to give the Watson gen back up instantly. So nice job there by Team Razor as they go and push inside this building for free. That's huge.
Yeah, they'll have a minute and 10 seconds to work with to try and decide how they want to get in on this one. We'll see if there's another Ultimate Excel for Mercy only to try and utilize, but it's all about just trying to survive for as long as possible here in the late game. Now, the ring does pull over to the eastern edge, so Team Liquid will be playing on the slow side of the circle and actually have the high ground here. This is the God spot.
By far, and you don't need a Pathfinder to get up here, so things really go in the favor of Team Liquid. Meanwhile, Zeratrick is going to get dropped. You're going to have a push over here from 303. A couple players pushing in onto Mercy. Mercy's going to get the knock. Has one more battery left, but the fences get destroyed. Fury and Senpai push inside the building. And now it's going to be 303 Liquid and one more team that we're not quite sure who that is on the opposite side. So if we could cycle through and find out which team is rocking it over here where those Watson fences are, it's going to be Third Impact. So 303 Third Impact and Team Liquid, your final teams here in game number 8 of Series E, day number 2.
Oh boy, they don't have much time for this rotate, and this might actually cause a lot of trouble for Team Liquid right now as Third Impact are wrapping around towards the east from the north side. So they might have an angle onto them, and it might not be the most easily defensible position. Never mind. This is the best cover to actually work with. Taking a look at this right now, they are completely safe. It's all about Team Liquid just biding their time, waiting it out. They've got the drone to work with as well. Here's the EMP along with the port as Albralele tries to get that kidnap. Will not be able to get one. No, he does. Balanji goes right on through. He gets taken out, and oh boy, Team Liquid plus Albralele just trying to stunt for this final win, but they can't play around too much with their food because 303 are still in this lobby.
2 knocks though. Albralele is going to find another one, and 303 is not playing this aggressive enough. Here comes the push. They're going to find that last kill, but they still don't have the high ground, and Team Liquid's fairly healthy. Once Albralele goes and hits this Phoenix kit, they're going to be full. So 303 has to make their way towards the high ground. They have the Pathfinder up here, and now they start to climb up because this rock is still in the zone, and that's why Flanker's playing this to perfection with the fences over toward the tip top of that rock. As soon as they get some initial damage, expect them to drop down. That's exactly what they do. One player going to drop. That's going to be 2. And Team Liquid looking extremely healthy, extremely strong to go and win this one. It's just a matter of who's going to find that final kill. And it is over. Team Liquid wins the final game here of Series E.
We have to remember that Team Liquid were 13 points behind TSM heading into game number 8. So there's a huge possibility that Team Liquid plus Mac might have just done it and taken the first place position. We're going to find out in just a moment as the leaderboards do get updated. But it was basically, with Sentinels going down early on, a two-way race between TSM and Team Liquid to see who would end up on top.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Team Liquid wanted that one, and Albralele probably just foaming at the mouth once he saw TSM go down. That's so exciting for Team Liquid to see what's going to happen as we go and tally these up and the admins put all the points together.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have the final results of Series E, day number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do have the final results of day number 2 here at Series E, presented by Esports Arena. So let's go ahead and take a look at our ultimate winners for the night. After 8 games, it's Team Liquid that take it by 3 points over TSM.
What a game by Team Liquid, putting it together. And I just saw the tweet that came out from Hodsick where Flanker gets the angle on top of the epicenter to take down TSM as they were making their way from Refinery over towards Epi, trying to get to that God spot where Team Liquid ended up holding down. And I was just going to commend TSM on being so well-rounded on these circles. And this is one of these things that they specialize in. I was expecting them to walk away with this one, but it was Team Liquid, Albreleli as well coming in for Casper that did it big. And you got to give him props because the man was on fire today.
You also got to say, the reses have been spectacular. Team Liquid able to continually bring him back into the game and closing that one out. I mean, we saw them in some tight situations, but they were able to continually get him back on in. 3 points was the difference, though, between Team Liquid and TSM. But, not too surprised seeing our top dogs here, seeing our invited teams really taking the win. This is still just week number 1 of Series E. There's a lot of room for growth for our partnered squads. So what did you like to see? What did you like seeing coming out of our partnered squads tonight, Tom?
Well, things that I typically see out of Team Razor, but I was more impressed with Team Applejacks, who was finding themselves in perfect positions to go set up for these final zones. I would say about 30% of the games, they were in a good spot to go and hit a fast rotation. It was just that they weren't able to hold it long enough, and we finally saw them do that there, I think, in game number 6 or 7, where they walked away with the W. On the other hand, things that I'm unimpressed with, I'm really looking forward to Team Intel and Team Rockstar stepping it up. The problem that they faced was just these early 50-50s, right? It was Cooler Esports going up against Team Rockstar. They weren't able to secure Lava City. And now we take a look at some of these replays as we see CLG and when they won these fantastic 2v2s, back-to-back 2v2s over here towards the dome side to secure some big points.
Yeah, and definitely Intel not having their usual drop spot, of course, with Sentinels being in the lobby. And so that's going to be something that you need to learn how to have variable drops where they can succeed elsewhere from. But that is a tough ask, right? Having to have a new drop, having to learn new rotations as well, and having that all prepared in the future. Luckily, though, of course, they do have the support of their partners for the next 3 months to level up their game. It's been fantastic, though, seeing a lot of these fights. I mean, we were seeing Team Razor fighting with some of the best of them, seeing Pringles fighting with some of the best of them. It's been an amazing night.
Yeah, and this is when Pringles ends up getting pushed inside of the building there by the Pop-Tart squad, and it was tough for them because they couldn't get that Watson generator down. But the partner team started off a little bit slow, picked it up towards the tail end. Again, I'm looking for Rockstar, Cheez-Its, and Intel to come through next week with some big games. But keep in mind, next week they're going to start off on Tuesday at 7 p.m., and they're going to be able to play against 11 more open teams. So they're going to be able to, again, brush up on their skills, figure out exactly what they're doing wrong, and they're going to watch the VOD from this one and figure out how they want to go and approach if they get 50-50'd, and what are some possible other areas that they could go and land just in case they have some backup spots.
That's right. And just like Tom said, it's an open invite, but it's first come, first serve. So the first 11 teams that sign up will have a chance to take on our partnered Series E teams and a chance at, of course, the lion's share of $500 next Tuesday. If you want to know when the signups open, well, you got to make sure that you're following Esports Arena on Twitter. That's where we will announce the signups because it's first come, first serve, and it'll be bright and early tomorrow morning. So make sure you are following them. That's going to do it for us, but we have one final word from our sponsors. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys all next week on Tuesday. Have a good night.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Cheez-It snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. And eating it. They love them.
Snapped. So good we may run out of cheese.